We'd like to begin. We'd like to begin right away with the arrival of the President and Chairman of Council of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the presence of our dignitary and educationist here today. We'd like to officially begin this event. We'd like to officially start right away. As our custom is, we always begin all of our events with the rendition of our national anthem. Can we please be upstanding as we take the national anthem? Thank you so much. Please do have your seat. I like to say that the best way we can serve our country is by the group of people, able men and women here present this morning, the educationalists. We like to say that the best we can offer our country is to give our children proper education. That is the focus of the group here at SCCI, and this conference summarizes what that embodies. I'd like to first recognize the presence. Many recognition here today, I must confess, but to say that we have with us the first citizen of the chamber, our president and chairman of council, Engineer Leye Kupoluyi. Please, let's make welcome our president. Also, we have with us this morning the DG of the chamber, who leads this secretariat, Dr. Chinyere Peace Amuna, FCA. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. With us this morning, we have the privilege of having with us the Permanent Secretary at the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Mrs. Abiola Dosumu Adegbite. Let's put our hands together for her. Yes, Abisola Dosumu. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. With us also this morning, we have, because I like to be a prof, so I will specially recognize the presence of profs today, Professor Olalekan Asihaka. Let's put our hands together for Prof. Vice Chancellor at Caleb University. Thank you, sir, for coming. My daughter will soon join your university by September. Thank you. Thank you. Also with us this morning, we have Mrs. Bolaji Osime, CEO, founder, Global Internal College. Let's put our hands together for her. With us also, Dr. Adegbite Temilade Adenioye, consultant, Child Psychiatric College of Medicine, University of Lagos. Thank you, ma. Thank you for showing up. I told you we have a lot of educationalists here today. Dr. Carol Annie Tom, we have her representing Director Marketing and Communication Department, American International School, Lagos. Let's put hands together for Dr. Hani. Thank you, ma, for showing up. Dr. Olagbeye Comfort, President, Platform of Education and Private School Owners. Let's put hands together for her, ma. Thank you. Thank you. Alhaji Yaquin Monzor, right? Let's put hands together for him, Chairman, League of Muslim Schools. Thank you, Alhaji. Thank you for showing up here today. Olori Olariwaju Bakari, President and members of Medford Guild. Let's put hands together for her. Also, we have with us Mrs. Ozomena Blessing, Administrator, Carey School, Lagos, panelists and association planners. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here. Also, I'm told we have all members of the Triford Guilds of Nigeria. Are they in? I'm told they're around. Please, let's recognize them. Thank you. They are far behind. We can see them dressed beautifully today. And also all presidents of various groups that are here today. Your presence is highly recognized. Thank you so much. Let me quickly recognize some of our panelists that are already present. I'm told some of them are on their way. I need to just get this off. We have 2 sessions today, 2 panel sessions. You know, when you have educationalists around you, you should be ready to learn. I have my biro. I believe you do have yours also to take note. We have, to serve as moderator today, for the 4th session, we have Mrs. Titi Adewusi. Is she in? Mrs. Adewusi. All right, on our way. Dr. Fowowe Simeon Sunday, is he around? Dr. Sunday, thank you, sir. Thank you for showing up. He's a panelist. I've recognized Mrs. Bolaji Osime. Mr. Biodun Kawonishe, is he in? Okay, on the way. Okay, that's fine. While we wait for some of our panelists to arrive, let's have the welcome address by the President and Chairman of Council, our father, the #1 citizen here at the chamber. Please make welcome for his welcome address, Engineer Leye Kukoluyi. Let's clap for the President again, please.
Thank you very much, Sunday. Today is a special day for me. Everybody here knows that I'm more of a women than men. So when I got here and they put me in a table, if not for the professor, I could have been the only man on that table. Professor, thank you very much for being there. Our chairman that made this today possible, Mrs. Fadayomi, thank you. You have shown how connected you are in the education sector. Thank you for making this one possible. Our permanent secretary, Minister of Education, the one that controls us from the government angle. The owner of Lagos, Mrs. Abisola Dosunmu Adegbite. Thank you, ma'am. We have several chairmen here and women of, can I borrow the word of timber and caliber? Professor, I will recognize you once again because without you, we won't be here. You taught us to be here. Thank you for having time to be here. And every one of us here, we are very important. Let me stand by the existing protocol. I'm always very attempted to call everyone one by one. And our chief executive that make it possible to, Dr. Chinyere Amona. I won't tell you what she's doing for me, but we will later know. Thank you for being here. Distinguished guests, a member of the education group, fellow chamber members, good morning to everyone here. Nigeria education story is at the core a business story. It is determined by workforce we hire, the consumer that we're selling, and the country we trade in. I want to make the cause of 5 numbers. Nigeria does not have education funding problem alone. It has access, technology, policy misalignment, and closing the gap in a single highest return on investment available in the chamber. Nigeria is a host of the largest out-of-school population on earth. I just know about this a few days ago because of this seminar. I repeat myself. Nigeria is the host of one of the largest out-of-school population on earth. And the gap to measure these tens of millions, not thousands. UNICEF in 2024 data put the figure in approximately 18.3 million out-of-school children, 10.2 million in the primary school level, 8.1 million in the secondary school level, meaning roughly for every 5 people out of school around the world, whole world, whether, no matter the color, one must be a Nigerian. I don't think it's a good batch for us anyway. Federal funding is therefore way below the benchmark needed to close that gap. Even the 2026 budget grew in absolute terms, that is the federal budget of 2026, the year we are now, by 3.52 trillion. That is to say that represents 6.1% or the 58.18 trillion in the total spending against UNESCO's 15 to 20 global benchmark and 26 threshold set out by Nigeria itself, by us in our national policy on education. We set out 26%, we are making only 6%. Where states have chosen to fund education at a scale the model already exists. This is an implementation gap, not a knowledge gap. Enugu allocated 32.2% of their 2026 budget to education, Enugu State. Kano committed 405 billion, representing 30%, and Jigawa committed 234 billion, representing 26%. They prove that recommended benchmark is achievable within Nigeria. The fiscal envelope wants political will align with the policy. I'm sure when the permanent secretary gets up here, he will tell us the percentage of Lagos State. Connecting the infrastructure beneath every EdTech promise. Cross halfway, that is connectivities has crossed halfway mark only in November 2025. The gap of concentrated exactly where the access is worse. Broadband penetration has grown to 5.5% in Nigeria. And I think Nigerian, I can say I stood here about 5 years ago when we were struggling with between 11 and 12% penetration. Here within less than 4 years, we are now having 50% penetration in terms of connectivities. I think that is very right. We should give a round of applause for all our providers. Because as of last year, it was 44.4% as earlier. But that still leaves roughly half of the country, the proportionately rural, northern household, without the connection to digital classroom as required. Financing innovation is already providing the scale. It's possible once the right instrument is in place. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund disbursed over 32 billion to students since 2024. And the Nigerian National Artificial Intelligence Strategy now commit to a world equipment of 70% of young Nigerians aged 16 to 35, half of whom, or more than half, are women. With AI a relevant skill for 2029, our members in the education group are potential employer who will absorb the talent if the pipeline is built correctly. The private sector role is not to wait for the next budget. It is to co-invest in infrastructure and scale and make today's budget work broadly. And going forward, education success should be measured not only by enrollment and graduation rate, but also by employability and productivity outcome. In closing, technology, policy, and asset is not three separate planets today. They are three legs of the same share. And this chamber intends to help build the three legs. And I'm sure we will achieve that before we leave this room. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Once again, let's put our hands together for the president. Thank you, sir, for leading from the front. Thank you. Having heard from the president, we will now need to hear from the chairperson of the education group here at SCCI. I guess she will need to tell us, while we are gathered today, what you should expect and what you will gain. Please join me as we make welcome the chairperson of education group, Mrs. Bukola Fadayomi. Let's put our hands together for her.
Your Excellencies, distinguished government officials here present today, our special guest of honor, Mrs. Abiola Dokumu Adegbite, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, whose presence here today means a lot to us. It signifies the government's recognition of the urgency of the conversation we are about to have here today. You're most welcome. I'm equally delighted to acknowledge with the greatest respect the President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Engineer Leye Kukpoli. Thank you so much, sir, for being part of our program. Our help man, our advocate, and the embodiment of LCCI. Sir, your presence leads the occasion, both authority and inspiration, and we are deeply honored. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Phillips, we're still expecting him. Mr. Phillips is the chairman of the Phillips Consulting Group. I'm also warmly acknowledge Dr. Mrs. Temilade Adegbite. She's the child psychiatrist at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, whose presence at this conference of this nature is, as I shall explain shortly, not incidentally, but absolutely central to the present day of Nigeria. I welcome all proprietors and proprietors of private schools present today. I welcome the representatives of head of public institutions. I welcome my fellow members of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, especially my DG, who's been so wonderful and quite helpful for this program. I welcome professionals from diverse fields of human endeavor, legal, medical, financial, technological, and support services beyond. I welcome the presence of Mr. Ayobami Abraham. Is he here representing Union Bank as we pave a partnership to the growth of education sector? To everyone here present here this morning, I welcome you. You are all so important. I welcome all the chairpersons of the various educational groups here seated today. I do not want to mention names, they've all been introduced. You are most welcome. Why are we here today? Ladies and gentlemen, the world is changing at a breathtaking speed. Across every sector of human endeavor, technology is redrawing the boundaries of what is possible. In medicine, in commerce, in governance, in communication, in industry, the digital revolution has not merely knocked on the door, it has walked in, rearranging the furniture and inviting itself to stay permanently. Education is not and cannot be an exception to this reality. Yet, even as we celebrate the extraordinary promise of technology in transforming how we teach and how we learn, we must be honest with ourselves. After a troubling paradox, the very technology that holds the greatest potentials to democratize education and extend its reach to the most remote and disadvantaged corners of our society, there is a widening gap between those who have and those who do not have. It is precisely this paradox and the urgent imperative to resolve it that has drawn us together here today under the compelling theme, Technology, Policy and Access, Building Inclusive Education Systems for the Future. This theme is not an academic exercise. It is a clarion call to government, to the private sector, to civil society, to education, to parents, to every stakeholder who cares about the kind of Nigeria our children will inherit, for us to come together, think clearly, speak boldly, and act decisively. The work ahead of us today, we are privileged to have two distinguished keynote speakers, whose addresses would anchor our conversation in both vision and evidence. Their perspectives drawn from deep wells of expertise and experience will set the intellectual tone of panelist discussion, and I trust that their contribution will challenge our assumptions, sharpening our thinking, and stir us to greater resolve. Following the keynote address, we will proceed into our first panel session, which will address the vital topic, digital equality in education, policies for inclusive education. The second keynote address would also proceed into second panel session, which will address the topic, future-ready institutions, building for the long term. And that is the problem we all face in Nigeria, having somebody to take over our business. We cannot, in good conscience, gather to discuss the future of education in Nigeria without confronting one of the most devastating and heartbreaking threats to that future, a threat that is neither technological or pedagogical, but human and horrifying real. I speak on the epidemic of insecurity that is ravaging our nation, and in the most cruel and targeting way imaginable, visiting its worst consequences upon our children in the schools, in their classrooms, in the very places that should be the safest place in their lives. As we gather in this hall today, approximately 30 to 39 innocent children and around 7 of their teachers have been abducted from various schools in Oyo State, and they still remain in captivity. Let it sink in. Not in the Northeast, not in the Southwest, but here in the Southwest, in Oyo State, which is just around the corner. A state that shares a border with Lagos. The state in which we sit at this very moment. Their families are waiting. Their classmates are traumatized. Their school is a place of grief. And those children and their teachers, wherever they're being held today, at this moment, are enduring horrors that none of us seated in this hall can fully imagine, and that no child anywhere on this earth should have such an experience. And this is precisely why in our presence today, we have a very wonderful woman, Dr. Mrs. Temilade Adegbite, who is a child psychiatrist at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital. It's not a courtesy addition to our program. It is perhaps the most urgent component. Her medical talk on post-trauma experience in children will illuminate for us what happens inside the minds and the bodies of these children who have been subjected to or who will live in chronic fear of evidence, violence, abduction, captivity. It will help us understand why a traumatized child simply has been handed a tablet and told to resume learning as though nothing has happened. It will equip school heads, proprietors, teachers, and policymakers with the awareness and vocabulary they need to identify post-traumatic stress, response in children, and to build school environments that are not only dignity connected, but emotionally safe and psychologically informed. In closing, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry has long understood that a thriving economy is impossible without a thriving education system. An economy cannot innovate without an educated workforce. It cannot compete without technological skilled professionals. It cannot grow substantially without a citizenry equipped to navigate an increasingly complex and yes, increasingly dangerous world. Education is not just a social good, but it is an economic imperative and safe, inclusive, technologically equipped, and trauma-informed. Education is not an optional upgrade. Rather, it is the indissolable minimum that every child deserves, and every one of us in this room has a responsibility to fight for. We all remember one of the slogans of our private schools is that your school is my school, and my school is your school. So I put it before us today, what are we as school owners doing about those innocent children who have been in captivity? We shouldn't wait for the government alone to do this. What should we do? We are all parents. We are all educationists. Should we just fold our arms as if it does not concern us? Or your state is round the corner? On behalf of the Council and Management of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and on behalf of the entire education group, I thank you once again from the bottom of my heart for honoring us with your presence. I invite all to engage with the seriousness, the compassion, and the sense of shared purpose that this moment and these children demand. The future of our children is watching. Let us not disappoint them. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairperson, for that speech loaded with emotional words, more particularly for the kidnapped kids at the Orire local government area of Oyo State. My belief, and our belief, is that those children will return to us safe, unharmed. Thank you so much. As stated in the chairperson's speech, we have two various powerful sessions today, and we'll get to that in a few minutes, but let's have our keynote speaker today delve into the address or presentation she has for us. Please make welcome the Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Mrs. Abisola Dokumu Adegbite.
I think this is fine. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope my voice is audible enough. Please don't mind the croaky background. I don't know if I'm coming up with a cold or something, or I just want to drink hot tea. But whichever way it is, I'm sure we'll all be fine. I would like to crave your indulgence to be allowed to adopt the already established protocol. However, I would like to specially recognize the President and Chairman in Council of LCCI, Engineer Leye Kukwu-Luisa, and I especially too would like to recognize the Chairperson of the Education Group, and you were right. She did very well pulling this crowd. I don't know how she managed to pull me here. This is not being said out of arrogance or pride. It's just because of the enormous task that I always have ahead of me. So she had written, she had followed up, she saw me at a function and grabbed me and made me promise. Made me promise. So I'm here. Based on that promise, I always keep my promises. And I made sure I got in early. Yes. I'm a stickler for time, so I was seated somewhere in the front by 9:45. Yes, I am a stickler for time. Thank you very much for having me. I'm so privileged to be here. And anytime I get the opportunity to stand on a platform like this, my daughter says I'm vain with the way I pronounce my name, but I absolutely love my name. So my name is Abisola Dokumu Adegbite, and I am privileged to be the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education in Lagos State. And this is a position I honestly do not take for granted. Thank you. I have a beautiful keynote address. I will try not to take too long because I know we need to stick to time. I would, however, interject a bit because the chairman and president in council asked me one question. I noted I would respond before the end of my address. It's a distinct honor and pleasure to stand before you today at this crucial gathering, organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I bring you warm compliments from the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, and this is by extension from the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, as well as his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Kadri Hamzat, on whose platform I have the privilege to stand before you. I also bring you warm greetings from my Honorable Commissioner, Mr. Jamiu Tolani Ali Balogun. Allow me, please, to commend LCCI for his unwavering commitment to the economic advocacy and specifically for creating this vital platform through the education group. Today, we bridge the gap between public policy and private sector innovation to address one of the most defining challenges and opportunities of our time: digital equity in education policies for inclusive education. Most times when we talk about inclusive education, we're only looking at people with disabilities, but it's a lot more than that, a whole lot. We need to begin to also look at gender. We need to look at opportunities available. So when you say inclusiveness, it's all-encompassing. It's like putting the private schools and the public schools side by side as well. When we speak about the future of education in Lagos State, we're speaking about a future that is undeniably digital. We can't deny that any longer. Innovation, access, inclusion, and teacher development are no longer mere aspirations. They are the fundamental pillars upon which modern societies are built. However, as we push forward into this digital frontier, we must ask ourselves an honest question: are we moving forward together? And when I say this, like I said before, are the women or are the girls moving at the same pace as the boys? Have the girls overtaken the boys in terms of STEM education? Or is it in terms of STEAM education? That's the question I'd like you to ponder on. Are the children in the public schools moving at the same pace as the children in the private schools? I went to a private school for primary school, but I went to a Unity Secondary School, Federal Government Girls College, Akure, and that molded me to what I am today. So, are we at par? Or are we still believing that children in public schools are disadvantaged? I can tell you categorically, no. Absolutely no. I was very fortunate to move a group of 8 students to Singapore November last year, and we did excellently well. On the learning platform, yes, on the learning platform for that, it was robotics. Nigeria came second. Yes, after Mexico. And I make proud to say it. And you should have seen the joy on my face, because each country had to carry the flag of their nation. I think there were about 132 countries thereabout represented. And I looked at the young lady, a JS3 student, carrying the Nigerian flag on that stage. And I was pleased. Now, I've not always been in the education sector. I've got a first degree in English education. Then I ran off to human resource management. So for 26 years, I have been practicing administration and human resource management. And then for some reason last year, I was moved back to the education sector. And I was asking myself why. But I got there and I think I know why already. So we're going to be doing a lot together. So my question, like I said, is, are we moving forward together? Please ponder on that. True innovation cannot be elitist. It can't. If digital tools, high-speed internet, and modern educational software are only accessible to a privileged few, we are not solving a problem. We're widening the gap. This is why this conversation around digital equity is not just timely, it is urgent. I would, however, like to emphasize here, we had heard about the out-of-school children. I took the figures down. And yesterday, I had the pleasure of having the Deputy Executive Secretary of UBEC in my office, and all we talked about was out-of-school children. And honestly, if it has happened in, let's say, over 20 years, is there a miracle that can be performed in 1 year? So I'm not the conventional civil servant. Maybe that's the first thing I should have said. I always say that. I'm not the conventional one. I'm very realistic. It will take us a while to mop up all the out-of-school students. But we're doing it, and we're not going to give up. And what we need is, do we have the passion to continue to go on? Do we believe in what we want to achieve? That's it. If you do not believe in it, there's no way it's going to be done. So I'm in the education sector. I've spent over 1 year. Next year, I might be moved. I don't know who's coming next. Somebody was there yesterday. Is the passion going to still be the same? So I ask you, as educators, as school owners, as head teachers, as policy makers, as policy implementers, and like the professors that also taught us in school, what we're learning, are we still going to be able to implement? Are we utilizing what we have learned in our daily activities? Honestly, this is urgent, and it is urgent attention. At the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, our mandate is clear: to ensure that every child, regardless of their socioeconomic background, geographical location, or physical ability, has access to quality education. And this is why education in Lagos State in the public schools is free. It is free. And this is why in 2025, the state government had paid the WAEC fees of 45,507. No, that's in 2025, the state government had paid the WAEC fees for SS3 students, totaling a number of 46,143, which amounted to about 1.53 billion. And in 2026, we have also paid the WAEC fees of 45,507 SS3 students in the Lagos State Public Schools, amounting to over 1.2 billion. That tells you we're interested and very concerned about our students. And I'll tell you something. I was watching something on Instagram, and I saw like a passing out parade of a private school. I won't tell you the school, so you don't go and look at it before I get to do what I want to do and take the shine off me. So I'm not going to. But I had seen what they did. It was just a little procession of them walking past, and their parents were there. And I saw the hugs their parents gave them. And I said, Bisola, can you just choose one public school? And can you do this? And I intend to do it. WAEC is almost over. And so I hope there will be a lot of coverage. So if you do see it on social media, remember that I told you about it here first. So I'm still trying to decide which school, but it has to be a public school. It has to, most certainly. And I want to stand, and I want to see all the SS3 students file past me, give me a handshake, or give me a hug. That's all I want to do, and make their day. Thank you very much. So, to achieve our policy in terms of policy, education policy focus on some of the core areas, such as infrastructure and equitable access, teacher development and empowerment, this definitely is a digital policy, only as good as the educators implementing it. How many educators are in the room? I am one. I'm an educator. Yes. So do we understand? We can only give as much as we have. Okay, I think there's something happening on the high table. So how many? We can give as much as we have. We can only give the best of what we have. So what do we have? That's my second question to you. What do you have inside of you to offer? What do you have to give? We are prioritizing continuous structured training for our teachers. And while I was seated there, I've just gotten another message from someone who wants to help us train 100 teachers, again in Lagos State, on AI and digitization. So we like to We encourage this sometimes. And I was talking to Dr. Adegbite. Incidentally, we share the same surname. Yes, but from two different states completely, but that's a good one. And my question, I always say, there's a bit of a change in the education sector in Lagos State. Some people call me Margaret Thatcher. Some people say I'm soft. It's okay, as long as the job gets done. And I told her, when you send proposals to me, I read them. I highlight the grammatical errors, the punctuations. So once I see that, you are not good enough for my students in the public school, you are not getting anywhere near them. You are not coming anywhere them. Because with that, what do you want to come and teach them about mental health? What do you want to come and teach them about leadership? What do you want to come and teach them about innovation? They're not guinea pigs. They're brilliant students that I'm proud of. So once I see that, I just underline and I say keep in view, or put away, or write to them that we're not interested in this. And when some of them come to me, I've had one who came to me, and he says, okay, then he will have to go to court. I said, by all means, go to court. Yes, ma'am. I said, by all means, go to court. I'll be waiting, and I'll defend it. I say, I want to eat rice. You said I should eat gari by force. Is it by force? No, that's just an analogy of some of the things that happen. But we need to get to that stage. We're ensuring that they possess the digital literacy and skills required to navigate the 21st century classrooms. Inclusive curriculum and content is another area we've looked at and we're still looking at. Digital equity means creating learning environments where children with special needs or different learning styles are fully accommodated. We have inclusive schools in Lagos State. Thank you very much for that, yes. We do, and we're having more. We're not stopping at the number we have now. We're also working with Office of Disability to ensure that this works. This is one of the new things in education that we're doing, is synergy with several MDAs so that we have things in place. Technology gives us the unique capability to personalize learning and our policies, and must encourage the development of local, accessible, and inclusive digital content. The government cannot do this alone. Honestly, please, we can't. We can't. However, even with that, I've had to ask for information on the number of requests we've had from NGOs to partner with us. And between January and June, I already have 354 requests. Yes. And I have a total of 1,026 primary schools, which is managed by SUBEB. However, directly under me, I have 381 junior secondary schools, also managed by the Tutors General Permanent Secretaries in the education districts, we got districts 1 to 6, and 335 senior secondary schools, which means in total, junior and senior secondary schools is. Thank you very much. I don't like math. I studied English. But I got the answer from somewhere here. 7, thank you very much, 716. My math teacher had a choice then. I'm sure the man would have thrown me out of his class. But what I lacked in math, I tried to make up for in English. So you can imagine, on the average, I get a request of nothing less than 30 from NGOs every day. We want to teach them leadership, we want to teach them innovation. And my question is, you want to partner with government, why don't you ask what area of intervention is needed? And then we can begin to focus on that. Because it's no longer business as usual. I ask questions, I meet people. What's your objective? You've been doing this for 5 years. What's been the outcome? What's the percentage of influence it's had on the students? What's the percentage of influence it's had on the teachers? Can I see the empirical evidence that this has impacted the students? So, not questions people like to answer. but questions I like to ask. So we cannot do this alone. Honestly, we can't. Even with all this, the way I'm talking, we need your help. We can't do it alone. Absolutely. It won't work. The presence of policymakers here, school owners, NGOs, developmental partners, and private sector giants in this room today is a testament to the fact that education is a shared responsibility. To our innovators and private sector stakeholders, we need your agility, your technology, and your scalable solutions. We challenge you to design tools that are resilient, cost-effective, and capable of operating in low bandwidth environments. To our NGOs and developmental partners, your grassroots reach ensures that accountability is maintained and that most vulnerable communities are not left behind. Together, we can build a robust ecosystem where public policy provides the enabling environment and private sector innovation drives the execution. So we see the partnership is very important. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let us use this conference not just as a forum for brilliant speeches, but as a launch pad for concrete action. Let the conversations today spark the policy implementations of tomorrow. And really, there's no tomorrow. Because you know why? Who knows why? Tomorrow is right here today. Because again, you will say tomorrow. Tomorrow. So tomorrow is right here today. So let me rephrase that. Let the conversation today spark the policy implementations of tomorrow's today, or today's tomorrow, whichever one you would like. On our children, the students in this room, I don't think there are any students, but please take this back to them. And millions outside are waiting for us. They're waiting for our decisions. They're waiting for the effects of whatever policies we're going to make and implement. Let us ensure that the digital future we build is one where every child in Lagos State can see themselves in it, participate in it, and thrive through it. I would quickly respond to the question asked by the, or well raised by the chairman, president, Governing Council of LCCI, and that the budget, is about 5.6%. Now, don't tell me it's not much. But if you look at the volume of it, then you will understand that it is much. And if you also look at the population, you would understand. One of the things I was asked yesterday is, there's this talk about that we don't have a lot of out-of-school students in Lagos. And I said, you wish. You wish. I like the so please, maybe you do that louder so that they would understand and hear. Because we have a lot. And migration in daily increases it by the hour. And I can tell you a little way that I know. So you can do transfers into the public schools. And when I got there, I said, if you don't transfer by the first term, because of continuous assessment, forget it. And they said it was a feat that could not be achieved. I said, well, if I'm here, that's what we're going to do. And we were able to do it. So after that, everybody, I said, no, you wait till the next session. And we don't do transfer in GS3 in Lagos State, neither do we do it in SS3. And I stood my ground on that. But I saw an increase in the population that have transferred over the years and even now. Already there are several messages on my phone. Please, I have a child that wants to transfer, but we will get to that. So Lagos is trying its best. We won't give up. We need you. We will continue to work together. And we won't get tired. I honestly would like to thank you for your commitment, your time, and your partnership. I wish us all a highly fruitful and impactful conference. And I request that you note 3 things. That we stand tall together in whatever decisions we make. We stand firm in implementing decisions. And we stand as one to achieve our decisions. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and God bless you.
Please, once again, join me as we appreciate the peers for that powerful speech. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Pierce. Thank you so much. I love what you said, that when you came into the ministry, you insisted on what is right. And that you insisted, I'm sure, is yielding very good results for the ministry. Once again, thank you so much for what you are doing. Lagos is a prototype, a mini Nigeria, if I must say. So I keep saying that in my lifetime, I'm still, very a small boy. So I have enough to still be here. That in my lifetime in this country, we will have a woman that will be the president of this country. Maybe when that happens, we will see, very positive, forward-thinking changes. When you see women, dogged, sound, and strong ones that know what they believe and stand by what they believe, you see progress. That's the truth. That's the truth. Thank you so much, Ma, for your commitment to excellence. All right, I'd like to announce that if this is your car, I'm told you need to repark. SMK 05 HG Islander. I don't know the color, but I'm sure you know if your car is with that plate number, SMK 05 HG Islander. I don't know which color or which model. Please do repark. I'm told you're obstructing someone that needs to move. All right? While the PS was making a speech, we had one of our leaders join us. He is a vice president here at SCCI. Engineer Musbau Okoyemi Aminu, vice president, SCCI. Thank you so much, engineer. Thank you, sir. We also had the Director General, Dawn Commission, Mr. Sheye Oyeleye from Oyo State, Ibadan, joined us. Let's put our hands together. Okay, represented. Thank you. Thank you, man, for all of that. You see, a woman representing a man. I told you, in this country, a woman will be the president, I tell you. It will happen. Do you believe that? It will happen. It will happen. I have a daughter. It will happen. Thank you so much. So we'd like to go to the panel sessions. We have very powerful people who will be panelists for this first session. So I'll call your name, the moderator. Please make welcome as we have co-founder Ninja Kids, Mrs. Titi Adewusi, serving as moderator. Please, let's put our hands together for her. Thank you, man. So she'll be moderating this session with the team, Digital Equity in Education, Policies for Inclusive Education. I believe that will not just be grammar, so we'll listen to how people will break it down. On the list, discussant, first, we have Dr. Fowowe Simeon Sunday. Let's put our hands together for Doctor. Please just join us. Dr. Sunday, know him, all right? Mrs. Bolaji Osime, CEO, Global International College. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. At this session also is Mr. Abiodun Kawonishe, CEO, EduTech Interactive. Let's put our hands together for Kawonishe. Know him? All right, so we have a good time, moderator. So, yes.
Oh, wow. Moderator. Okay.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and I would also stand on all existing protocols, so thank you very much. As I was listening as the Honorable Palm Secretary was talking, and I'll reiterate some of the things she said, because it sets the background. It's obvious that technology has the power to democratize knowledge. Questions we have to ask ourselves, are we all moving at the same pace? And then when we think about equity, we have to look beyond gender, we have to look beyond disability, we have to look beyond, you also have to look at opportunities. Those are some of the things, just to set a bit of the background. And so when we now think about policies, because we are focused more on policies in this session, our first question is to now ask ourselves, and I'm going to throw this question both to you, Ma, and in your opinion, what will be the top 2 policies that you feel, and not just for government as well, but just in the sector, that would help drive, digital equity?
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Actually, I just wanted to add that, good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to add that actually I was part of the EdTech National Strategy last year. So there's actually a national EdTech strategy that was powered by Federal Ministry of Education and the digital economy, both ministers. So there's an EdTech strategy in place. And we went and we spent about 6 months looking at so many areas. And one of them definitely was policy. And I think there's so many, the challenge with Nigeria is that we have so many policies and it's so fragmented and everybody's doing different things. So what we did during those sessions was to bring all the policies together, because we have so many. There's the UBEC, there's the digital literacy policy and everything like that. So I think first of all, one of the policies we pushed was a competency framework for teachers. There's a digital competency framework that has to be established for teachers. And the other one we said is that when we're talking about digital literacy, it has to start from the College of Education itself, so that teachers are actually, the curriculum needs to include that. So they actually, before they get into the schools, they actually have knowledge of how to use the digital tools. So that's one other thing. But majority, what we see generally, we are working in Abia State. And I actually working in Lekki. I'm on the LASA committee, and we're doing out-of-school children. That's why I know the data on out-of-school children. So what is the challenge we're having generally is that we have a problem of the fact that the lack of access to digital tools is majorly for the government schools. I have a school. My students have laptops. We have internet. The parents can afford it. But when you get to government schools, and you said you're looking at equality. So in most cases, some government schools say, okay, we're going to give laptops and all of that. But the problem is there's no light in the school. There's no internet in the school. Then there are no devices for the children to use. And these are government schools that are in the urban area, not to talk of rural areas. And then the teachers are not competent. So those areas are areas that we were talking to government that if you're going to do anything at all, it's not a question of just giving devices. You have to understand that it's the bundle. You have to bundle everything. You have to have fiber in the schools. You have to have the teachers trained, a competency framework for teachers to be trained on the digital tools. Because sometimes you find teachers will stand before, during COVID, teachers were just reading out. That's not training, that's not digital. You cannot, when you're using technology as a tool to teach, you are looking at how you're going to use that technology to teach the students, not to just stand in front of your laptop and teach as if you're in a classroom. So there's a need to do that. And that's why we said that competency framework must be in place so that we'll see different levels of how, like teachers who are just starting will be on level 1, teachers that have done something level 2, level 3, and then teachers in the private schools can also help as well. Private schools can work with government schools, and we can say, okay, can we do something that we can teach your teachers? So those are the areas that I believe that we have to pay attention to, basically in terms of policies.
Okay, please let me give you a round of applause. That was very insightful. And it's like you are the right woman for this panel, since you've been involved in so many, to bring all that to bear. Sir, I will throw the question to you as well. So she has talked at one angle. She has focused a bit on the teacher empowerment. So from your own, from your own angle as an EdTech provider, what would you say are key policies that will help drive, especially as she has mentioned that access to laptop, internet is an issue. Light is also an issue when it comes to this access.
Well, thank you very much. I am afraid that to ask this question, Nigeria does not have problem of policies, sincerely. Lagos has many policies, apart from the federal. The problem is implementation. We have all of this you have mentioned, we have the policies, long time ago. And even currently, they are being reviewed. But the problem is, the major challenge is the implementation. Sustainability of this implementation. Sustainability. Lagos State is a unique state. I know Lagos State so well. I've been working for several years, and I know I'm even a consultant to UBEC, to SUBEB, and I'm sure the permanent secretary asked one of our requests. We are one of those who have requested, I want to partner with you. I'm the national president of, Association of Early Childhood and Basic Education in Nigeria. Yes, we are none of those. I think we have to change our orientation. Now, madam, we are going to come to your office to ask for the intervention you need. Sincerely, we'll come. You see us in a week's time. We'll come to you to ask now what is the area of intervention you need. Madam, policy is not the problem, it's the implementation. The teachers, are they well remunerated? They don't want to hear that. I'm sure the permanent secretary may not want to hear that. Teachers that want to implement this, are they happy doing that? Are they happy doing that? So we must in the conversation this day, we must ensure that the communique gets to all the stakeholders. Let the communique get to all stakeholders that the implementers must be encouraged. The implementers must be encouraged, and there must be sustainability. We have enough policies, sincerely.
Okay. That's an interesting angle. And, I want to throw it back to Mrs. Osime, if you agree with him, because you have come from a policy perspective. And for those that work with government, you would understand that government is a whole institution. And the language, even though enforcement can be an issue, but the language that is first spoken has to be policy. You can't achieve anything without those four legs, policy. Because that's really how the wheels of government works. It starts with policy. So I want to throw that question back to you and say, do we have all the policies? You have dealt with them, and this is beyond Lagos. I'm happy that you're doing a lot. I know that you're doing with Eric, you're doing a lot in Abia State. When you look at it, do we have enough policies? We'll come back to the enforcement, but let's start and say, do we have the policies that would even get things going? Because the policies ensure that beyond who is in power, you have the framework to work. I like what she said, the Honorable Permanent Secretary. She said she was not there a year ago, and she doesn't know where the year will bring her. But policy ensures that it's the same language. So we'd be interested to have your thoughts.
Yes, that's why the two ministries came together, actually. And I thought it was very a good idea, because the ministry, Minister Bosun Tijani, who is digital economy, and the Ministry of Education said we need to come together and build an EdTech strategy, because they understood that there were too many policies flying all over the place, and they were fragmented, they were not coordinated. So our job that we did was to bring everything together. And luckily, thank God, They invited us from the private schools. They invited teachers. They invited even students. So everybody had a say into this particular one. And one of the things that I pushed for was a competency framework for teachers for digital training. So that has been slightly corrected. The Minister of Education is a very, he's a very, what's the word? Very, in terms of very on top of what he's doing. And he wants to make sure that these policies, but the important thing though, is that states have to domicile the policies as well. So a lot of states are not domiciling the policies. So there's a disconnect between federal and state. This is the challenge. So even when you're talking about implementation, it's so important what he said. And that's one of the things we said. And we said at the session, we said we don't want to sit here and talk. We keep talking. Implementation is what we want to see. These students getting access to education. Honestly, out-of-school children can be resolved through technology. It can be resolved through technology. We do not have enough schools in Nigeria to take all those out-of-school children in. But we can use technology to give them access to education. So basically, I think the most important thing for us to do is looking at that EdTech strategy, and then governments coming together, at least when they have their meeting with the commissioners in Abuja, when they all come together. UBEC also has a meeting with as SUBEB chairman. What they need to do is to say, look, this is what we have put in place. Get a team together and make sure you have private sector involved. Because when we're talking about devices, during COVID, a lot of banks were able to pay for devices. The telecommunications were able to give data for access. So this job is a job that has to be done by everybody. Honestly, everybody has to be on the plate, because everybody, whether you are in Zamfara or whether you are in Lagos, you must have the same access to the same quality education that every Nigerian is having. And that's why this technology is so important, so that we can give access. What we are doing in Abia now, because the governor, he's spending 20% on education, he's not joking, Governor Oti. So what we're doing in Abia, when we went into Abia, we did the baseline. We went everywhere, 17 local governments. What are your challenges? And then we now said, okay, what we're going to do is, they didn't even have textbooks. So how do you pass? I wonder when some people say they have A something in some government schools, and there are no textbooks. How did that happen? Miracle centers, too many. And it's so sad, because they'll get to university, and the university is saying, you guys don't know anything. You haven't learned anything. So one of the things we're doing in Abia is that we've put all the curriculum. Our private school teachers have put all the curriculum, they've recorded videos, we've looked at the scheme of work, we've done the lesson plans, we've done everything, and we're uploading it on an LMS. So every single child in Abia will have access to curriculum from early years to senior secondary, including special needs. So we made sure we did that, and it was the private school that did that in collaboration with the Abia government. So they have access to everything they want, including video. So they do not have an excuse now. And then we went there, we trained 7,000 teachers. In fact, we trained 5,000 teachers in 2 weeks on digital tools, and it was incredible. So where there's a will, there's a way. What we lack in Nigeria is will. Political will is lacking. Honestly, if we are all able to get together, and our governors are giving a score, and let us start monitoring what they're doing with the money. Abia State is a very good example. He's spending the money, and we know he's doing that. Once that happens, there will be access to education. We are still talking to them to make sure, and he's working with them, MTN. They're working with MTN in Abia. They're going to lay fiber. So we're going to get internet into all the schools so that the students will have access to the devices. So it can be done.
Thank you very much. it can be done. So we've established that policies are important. We've established that there are policies. We need a bit more of coordination in terms of the policies. I'll throw the question back to you. So you are for, let's move beyond policies. But I love what the Honorable Permanent Secretary said. She said, you know what, I'm a realist. So as we are in this room, let's also be realist. There is the policies, there's a lot to be done. When you look at the issues and challenges in Nigeria, it has plenty heads. So my question to you now is, we know that the budget is limited, it's not infinite. If you look at Lagos in particular, yes, migration is such an issue, which means that if yesterday you are planning to solve 5 problems for 5,000 children, when you wake up today, it is 6,500. When you wake up tomorrow, it becomes 8,000. So that means that there's a need to prioritize. right? And when we listen to the various angles, I can break them into maybe three. One is the infrastructure. Yes, MTN can be laying cable, access to devices. Another one is, the devices, the infrastructure, the teacher training. So if you were to advise, knowing that budget is limited, how do we prioritize implementation? Which of these should we prioritize to drive us closer to, the equity that we're trying to look for?
Well, sincerely speaking, I want to challenge the private institutions in Lagos State.
Okay.
Abia, that was a good news. 7,000 teachers were trained in Abia by private institutions. What is private institution doing in Lagos State? Permanent secretary man. Permanent secretary man. You heard that 7,000 teachers were trained in Abia by private institutions. How many teachers have private institutions trained in Lagos? Do you have record? Then they need to be challenged through this gathering. Please write it down. Go and write to Oando. Oando is doing wonders in Port Harcourt. Oando is doing wonders in Port Harcourt, spending billions. Please write to them that you need their assistance if we are not ashamed to do that. Everybody looks at Lagos State as the most buoyant state. And they believe Oando, because I worked with them last year, Oando in Port Harcourt, and I realized that they regarded Lagos State as almost second to heaven. A state that does not need any help. That's the problem we have. I think it's high time we started asking for helps, not even help now. Please, Permanent Secretary, write to Oando. They will do the needful. Yes, teachers are the chief implementers of this policy. What is the state of their being or their well-being? Would they do it diligently? Would they do I can't hear that. Would they do sincerely? Would they do it with all their consciousness? What is their take home? Would they be happy if they receive the training? Would they implement it? I'm talking from experience. I'm a teacher trainer. Would they do it diligently? That is the problem Abia has solved. There is almost 24 hours light electricity in Abia, isn't it? I mean, Lagos State should replicate that. The population, anyway, madam.
Good question.
Madam, nobody moved to Abia for a greener pasture. Nobody. Nobody. If you investigate, nobody moves to Abia for a greener pasture. But Lagos on daily basis, but no problem. Yes. So the implementers who are the teachers must be taken care of. I used to tell teachers, and I want to say it today, if you are not ready to teach, please quit. James chapter 3 verse 1, spell it out. You can Google it. James chapter 3 verse, don't read the King James version, read Pidgin version. You will quit teaching today if you are not sincerely. James chapter 3 verse 1, if there's anybody that can read it for us, read Pidgin version.
Pidgin.
I don't have
Pidgin version. Don't read King James. It's too lenient. It's too mild, please.
Okay.
James chapter 3 verse 1. Is there anybody reading, or I should say it? Somebody is reading. Read the Pidgin version. Don't read King James, please.
Okay. So that I don't know how much.
No, somebody must read it. Is anybody reading?
No, you can say it.
Okay, I can say it.
Yeah.
He said, think twice before you become a teacher. Because those of us who teach will be judged strictly in heaven. Is there? Don't think twice before you join teaching profession. Because some of us, or those of us, or all of us that are teaching will be judged with stricter criteria in heaven. I read that 18 years ago and I've changed my mind.
Okay. Thank you very very much, sir.
So teachers that will implement this
Are key.
are
Yeah,
key, and they must be satisfied.
Okay. So we can move on. I mean, we've started with saying, you know what, policy is important. A lot has been done to try and bring together the policy from the federal level, such as defining the competencies for teachers. We've now said that if we look at the 3 things to be done, which is infrastructure, you know, the access to devices, access to internet and power, and teacher training, what we are saying is that let's prioritize teacher training. And you've also included welfare. You know, let's
Commensurate welfare.
and because, you know, the PALM Secretary has said we must be practical in our suggestions, we have said that an angle is, one, work with partners. You've listed a bit of some of those partners. Yes, work with partners, work with private schools and various organizations that would help, you know, the teaching, so that funding should not be what kind of stops us. Yes, and I agree. I haven't dealt with you know, a number of teachers that even some basic scan code, it can be done. You know, it just shows the level in which we should do. But if we have the competency that defines level by level, you know, it doesn't put that kind of pressure on them. So you know, on an LMS, you know, on a learning management system, to grant access, okay, but the timekeeper is to grant access. So because we're trying to make it practical, so how do we, you know, make that accessible to everyone? And I want a category of people that we've not talked a lot about, which is people that, you know, special needs, which are people that, you know, have, you know, it can be visual impairment, it can be, you know, hearing impairment. How do we also address that access? And then the last access I also want us to talk about, which is also very important, is opportunity. Because sometimes they've graduated, they've done fantastic, you know, in their WAEC, and there isn't that access to the next level. There isn't that access to university or even vocational training. So how do we also talk about that access? So I will start with you and then we'll come back to Mr.
Well, we need to get it right. Inclusive education, special need education is more than disability. In every 10 children in every class, there is one that is autistic. But we're always looking at this physical disability, the disabled, the deaf, the blind. No. Special need education is beyond this. Autistic children are the most restless, most difficult to teach of all the categories of special need children. They are the most difficult to teach. In fact, you can't run an inclusive, and I want anybody to challenge, you can't run an inclusive education with autistic children. I'm talking from experience. You can never run an inclusive class or education with any autistic, especially if it is not mild. If it is severe, you have to homeschool the child. But when it is mild or it is blind, it is there. You can run an inclusive education. I want the permanent secretary to tell me if there is a special school in Lagos. Permanent secretary, man. Okay. Yes, I want our permanent secretary to, you know, to tell the state government to establish at least one autistic school. No, private or public. We don't have.
No. Okay, so this is a collaborative conversation. And it's not putting anybody on the spot. I think that's the point.
We have inclusive in Lagos State, no doubt, inclusive school. But do they include the autistic children? That's what I'm saying.
Is it an inclusive school? Okay.
No problem.
Okay.
Don't forget, I supervise teaching practice every year for close to 18 years. I have not seen one that run inclusive with autistic in Lagos State.
Okay. So that's open. But we are talking about solutions so that we are not.
The solution is capacity building.
Okay. Okay.
The solution is capacity building
for
teachers.
Okay.
Capacity building For teachers.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Mrs. Osime.
Actually, what I want to say this to LCCI. You know, because we're here for solutions, and
Please, can we have one house so that we can just we're wrapping up. Don't worry.
so I'm challenging the president and Dr. Fatayomi. Because this is the reason why we're here.
Exactly.
You know, I said before, I don't like talk anymore. We talk so much in Nigeria. So if we're going to have a solution, you have a lot of members who are corporates in LCCI. So we're talking about access now, and we're talking about how do we collaborate. So I think one thing that we can do in the education committee is to bring everybody together. You can see that everything is going, and government can't do it alone. You know, government can't do it alone. So even with the corporates who will assist us with the devices and the data, at least that is done. Government can now make sure, at least the curriculum, they can, and I think Lagos State has a platform already that has the content there. But it's just access to devices and to internet. So if we can all come together under your own umbrella, and private schools are also part of you, and then we can have a solution for access to all these things that we're talking about, so that at least we live here knowing that we're taking something away and we can implement that and work together. So that's my own suggestion, so we can move forward with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This has been a very enlightening session. I think I'll just recap on my three top takeaways. Policy is key, right? A lot of policies have been defined. In terms of prioritizing, which is the second takeaway, in terms of prioritizing, we must prioritize the teachers, equipping them, right, with the relevant skills, which is important. And I think, one of the things, just to take it back, is to say whenever we are planning whatever initiative, just looking at the reality on ground is that we must understand that, there are some things existing already. How do we leverage those things? We also have to understand that there's a lot of pull in different directions, right? Because if someone is receiving 350 proposals, that's a lot of pull in a lot of directions. Let's be on. And I think that what Mrs. Osime said in terms of us coming together in larger groups like under LCCI and bringing some of these solutions would also make a world of difference. And I will end by saying that as we think of infrastructure, as we think of access to devices, it's also important to continue to prioritize offline first and low bandwidth, because there was something she said in her keynote, is that whatever issues and challenges we have now, it won't go away overnight. It's actually issues that have been building over for years won't go away overnight. So it means that in some things we have to prioritize. So I think also as we prioritize access, we look at low bandwidth. We also look at offline. I think I will end here and say thank you very much, all our distinguished panelists. This was really an engaging and awesome and very practical session. Thank you very much. It was wonderful to have you with us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our panelists, thank you. Please get back to your seat. We'll still call you back later for a photograph. Moderator, thank you. You did so well. Nigeria Kids, thank you. Thank you so much. So we will I'm told the PS may want to leave. So we'd like to quickly document this in photograph. Mr. President, can somebody help me call Madam DG? Oh, good. I was looking for you here. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. President, Madam DG, Vice President, Permanent Secretary. Permanent Secretary, ma'am. Chair. I just did this photograph for the PS that may soon leave, so we still have other array of photographs later. Are you good? Thank you. Thank you, man. PS. So the panelists should join at this point. Okay, please, let's have the panelists join. The first set, okay. Yes, join, sir. I think you need to move to that other side. Yes. Yes, moderator, yes. So move back a bit. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. All right. The PS would like to go. She will have a 2-minute session with the media outside. Francis, please help me coordinate that with the PS. TVC is behind with the PS. Thank you so much. All right. While we'll allow the PS take a leave for other state matters, I'd like to recognize the presence of this great educationalist that joined us while we're on. Mr. Oshisoya Temitope from Apostolic Faith Church School Board. Let's put our hands together for him. Thank you. Thank you. I'm also told the other time I only recognize just someone from Dawn Commission. I'm told there are about 2. We have with us Dr. Adesoji Farabi. Yes, thank you so much, Doc. Thank you for coming all the way from Oyo State, Ibadan. A lot of things were said about Ibadan this morning, about Orire. But I assure you very soon we shall bring in good news. Yes, we shall bring in good news. And that good news will not depart from Nigeria going forward. All right. We'll have the second session, but not until we have a time of medical talk. It's necessary that we know some things about our health and how, post-trauma experience is children. We need to have that now. So please make welcome Dr. Temilade Adegbite from the Lagos University Teaching Hospital. Let's put our hands together for Doc. You want to hold it? Thank you, Doc. You have to set it.
I don't think they have my slides, so I'll just go on with it. Thank you. Thank you once again. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, you're all welcome. And thank you for your time so far. 1 minute. So once again, I'm Dr. Adegbite. I am consultant child psychiatrist and lecturer, College of Medicine, University of Lagos. Permit me to stand on existing protocols, and I must say a big thank you to the organizers of the program, and specifically to our chairperson education in person of Mrs. Fadayomi. Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here, and it's so nice that these days we're incorporating some mental health into our education system. I'm particularly interested in school mental health, and that's why I'm here today. Thank you. Without wasting your time, I'd like to talk on post-traumatic experience in children, post-traumatic experience in children. And I'll say that this topic is timely, not because we're just gathered here, but this is a time that, the security situation in the country is very alarming. So it's good that we're thinking in this direction and we're talking about this at a time like this. So talking about post-traumatic experience in children. Of course, I don't want to bore you with a lot of medical jargons. I'll make it as lay as possible. What is important for us is we should be able to, as class teachers, as educators, to be able to recognize common signs and symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, acute stress reaction, acute stress disorder in school children. What is trauma? Trauma is defined as a sudden threat to life or physical integrity outside of normal experiences. Permit me to say it again, and I say that is an emotional response to a frightening, stressful, or overwhelming event. So, when we talk about post-traumatic stress experience, disorder, reaction, whatever we want to call it, one thing is important, and that is traumatic event, traumatic experience, which can, in children, be in two ways. Number one, it can be directed to the child himself or herself, or directed to another individual that is associated with the child. You know how it is difficult to separate children from mothers? So, for example, the trauma is directed to the mother. The child can go on to develop post-traumatic experience. Remember the picture that is, or the video that is circulating on the social media? We have talked a lot about the Orire, Ogbomosho axis, abduction and all of that. So there's this particular woman that was backing her baby. So in my mind, I will look at that picture and I'm almost like, this child is directly experiencing, and then not just that, even through the mother. And it's so funny that, you know, this kind of experiences can go on to affect generations. So some of the effect of what we're experiencing now, I don't want to confess that it's going to last longer, but it can go on from generation to another generation and on like that. In our world today, what is the relevance of this? Are there cases? Initially, we were talking about the northern, eastern Nigeria, but now we're in the southwestern Nigeria. Do local people recognize this? Are there other points of discussion? So before now, I used to think that, okay, it's only the elites, it's only the wealthy in the country that are likely to be abducted. Once you are traveling in your, don't let me say Toyota Camry, let me say the smallest car that you can think of. I thought I am safe until I saw the case in Ogbomosho. And I'm wondering, people who left their houses to go to their place of work in the morning, children who probably attended Baptist primary school and some secondary schools in a village in Ogbomosho are the ones that have been abducted. And this continues to happen, you know, on daily basis. We're not even sure. Maybe there's a case happening somewhere as we are talking. It is well with Nigeria. While this topic matters, teachers are often the first adult outside the family to notice when a child is struggling. Why? Because these days, quite a number of them, you know, we leave them in schools in the morning, we come back later in the day to pick them. I'll tell you that children spend quite a reasonable amount of time in school with these children. So sometimes, for somebody like me, you're a career woman, drop them in the morning, pick them up in the evening, you come back, the children are on phone, the mother or the father is also probably doing something on the laptop or on your phone, you go to sleep, you wake up, and then you come back, life continues again. But for teachers, they're with them for quite a reasonable amount of time. So trauma can affect learning. It can affect behavior. It can affect school attendance. It can affect the way these children relate with peers, relate with teachers, and other adults. The security situation is of increasing concern to the well-being of children. When our chairperson education called me, she told me that she's going to give me 10 minutes to talk about post-traumatic experience in children. And we were on phone. She spoke for almost 30 minutes. And I was like, if you are talking to me,
and you have spent almost, she just said, doctor, don't worry. And then we continued to talk, and I was driving. So when I parked my car, I asked her, what time allocation? She said 10 minutes. I must tell you, 10 minutes is not enough to talk about trauma. In fact, if I must go into the etiology, into the symptoms, into the management and all of that, but don't worry, I'll try and make it as snappy as possible. Nigeria continues to face multiple security challenges, including insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, former other conflict, and communal violence. This is a general perception. There's a general perception of insecurity across Nigeria. Let's quickly look at the epidemiology. Millions of Nigerian children live in conflict-affected areas, especially in the northern eastern Nigeria. That was before. Now, bandits are everywhere. Thousands of children have been abducted during attacks on communities and schools in recent years. Schools attacks have disrupted education for hundreds of thousands of children, leading to prolonged school closure and increased school dropout rate. So we've been talking about abduction. That's just one part of trauma. I'm not even sure it's even up to one. There are different other sources of trauma that we're not even thinking about, that we go on to inflict on these children on a daily basis. From parent, from step-parent, stepfather, stepmother, the teachers in school, how we carelessly pass our comments on these children. You know, a lot of things are actually happening. Sometimes, or let me say, sometime ago, I had the opportunity of attending courts, customary courts and family courts. And when you get there, please go there when you have the opportunity. You'll be amazed at some of the things that are happening there. In my clinic, you know, when a new patient is coming in, during our consultation, we like to ask questions: where, when, what, how, and so on. And sometimes when you excuse the parent or the caregiver, you are left with this child alone. Some of the things we hear are actually, don't let me use the word amazing. Sometimes I go back home and I'm angry within myself, and I'm almost like, sometimes call my children and begin to ask them, did this, did that, what happened, what? And then sometimes with sleepless nights. The drivers of violence against children are rooted in social norms. The uncles and aunties that are coming to live with us. The security man, the driver, the secretary, the personal assistant, the house help. And don't be carried away with your young girls alone. Even the boys are being abused. So we should, as educationists, as teachers, as parents, as caregivers, have what they describe as eagle's eyes. God help us. Childhood trauma encompasses a broad spectrum of adverse experiences that occurs during the formative years of a person's life. You can imagine for a young child that the brain is actively growing, you understand? In the normative years up till around age 18, 19, 20, 21, the brain is still fast growing. And you can imagine how a traumatic experience will just come, struck, and disrupt the whole thing. You can imagine. And that will continue to linger on to another generation. These experiences can range from physical, emotional, or sexual abuse to child neglect, household dysfunction. We've been talking about stepfathers, stepmothers. You know how both parents can never agree. It's either they are fighting. It's either they will never agree on anything. I can tell you there are a number of households where people are living together as husband and wives, but in the real sense, they are strangers. They don't talk to each other. They don't know what is happening to each other. They wake up, and when you see them outside or on social media, they are the best couple that you can ever think of. But unfortunately, we see their children in the hospital. You know how they describe children as the window. to a particular family. You just see this child come up with all sorts of personality, all sorts of symptoms, all sorts of disorders that you can think of in a child. What distinguishes childhood trauma is not merely the nature of the event itself, but the profound and lasting impact it has on a child's developing brain, emotion, and a sense of self. I don't have so much time. Children exposed to trauma may experience a range of emotional responses, including fear, anxiety, sadness, anger, and confusion. And trauma can impair a child's ability to form a secure attachment and trust others. You know how a young child will wake up and then learn to see that there's nobody to be trusted. And if they eventually become an adult, it affects their relationship with other people later in life. You understand? You're at work, there's this person who does not trust anybody. In fact, sometimes they don't even trust themselves. Yeah, that's one of the effects. And that's the genesis of such. So, which can have a long-term implication for their relationships and interpersonal functioning. Who are at risk? I mentioned the other time. Before now, I used to think once you are not wealthy, once you are not, one of the politicians in town, I thought we are safe. And what we have here are some of the risk factors. It's being a female gender, low intelligence, low socioeconomic status, pre-trauma life event, low self-esteem, psychological problem in children, ADHD, ASD, autism spectrum disorder, intellectual disability, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, low social support, dysfunctional background, social withdrawal, psychiatric morbidity, poor family functioning, and use of distraction and thoughts, abnormal coping mechanism. What are the common signs that we can look at? If you check ICD-10 or DSM-5, those are diagnostic criteria, mainly for doctors and psychiatrists. But like I said, I'm going to make it as lay as possible. I don't want to bore you. I'll come up with layman terms that we can easily recognize in school children. Signs of childhood trauma can manifest in various ways, and it is essential for us as educators to recognize them early for effective intervention. Are they behavioral changes, emotional changes, psychological problem, physical health challenges? Can come in form of aggression. You just have this child in your class who is known to be calm, cooperative, and all of a sudden they become aggressive at little or no provocation. I want you to get that and get it correctly. Little or no provocation. So if you provocate me, I can get angry. So I'm not talking about a child that was stepped on by another child or who took, you understand, not that. But little or no provocation, this child becomes angry, defiant, or they are showing temper outburst, or what we call temper tantrum. All of a sudden, they are showing challenging behavior. So that's for a typical child. Let me slightly take you to atypical children. For example, children with autism spectrum disorder or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. They can just come up with all forms of challenging behavior. And you are wondering, don't forget that for them, I know we've been talking about inclusive education, and we're talking about how many schools in Lagos have capacity to take children with autism spectrum disorder, for example. So for them, this is a child who already has issues with social interaction, with communication. And this child cannot just talk. So the only way they can express whatever that is wrong with them is to show challenging behavior. So they can do all sorts. They can begin to hit their head on the wall, or they're just crying for, don't let me say for no reason, like people say, there must be something. When a child is showing challenging behavior, the child is actually passing across a message. Social withdrawal, reduced social interaction, they prefer to stay isolated. And some of them can even go on to regress, especially on developmental milestones that they have achieved before. All of a sudden, you just have this child go back to bedwetting, a child that's already attained, You understand? That before, or they go on to bite their finger or suck their finger or all sorts. They may begin to self-harm or self-cut, non-suicidal self-injurious behavior. You understand? You just see cuts or bruises all over the body, self-inflicted injuries. Emotional problems such as fear, anxiety, excessive worry, excessive crying, intense fearfulness. Or it might just be persistent sadness, feelings of hopelessness, mood changes, emotional dysregulation. 1 minute they're happy, the next minute they're angry. Or they show symptoms of nightmares or night terrors. Sometimes they present with intrusive thoughts, or they become constantly being on the high alert. Somebody is just closing the door, you know, hypersensitivity. Abnormal reaction to a sensory stimulus. They're just always feeling on edge. I've talked about sleep disturbances, changes in their appetite. For some, it might be excessive eating, craving for anything that they see, and they may go on to add weight all of a sudden, and you are wondering what's going on. Or for some of them, they may have poor appetite and they can go on to lose weight. Avoiding situations of people that are associated with the trauma. You have a particular teacher that anytime the teacher is around, I don't want to label teachers, you understand? Or they don't want the school bus to pass a particular, or this child is happy-go-lucky, who loves to, and all of a sudden, they don't want to come to school again. They may even have non-specific symptoms, abdominal pain, that you cannot just find the cause. They've taken this child to the hospital, there's headache, they are feeling sick almost all the time. Meanwhile, they do blood workup, all form of test, and the doctor is telling you that this child is fine. It's a time to look at what is going on in that child. For most children with sexual abuse, you have a child that just come up with what we call sexualized themes. You just have this child who came up and you observe that the child is now beginning to touch people inappropriately. And he or she does not do that before, especially children with challenging situations. You understand, they are making attempts at touching people inappropriately in places that are not, for that. Okay, so how can we help a child that has been traumatized? Childhood trauma can have profound and lasting effects, but there are several effective interventions to support them. And I will say that at our level, we will try as much as possible to do our best. If we recognize any child with any of the symptoms that I've talked about, it's good we offer them support as much as possible. So in terms of management, I wouldn't say that for you want to manage them at your level, but what is important is we need to understand at what point do I need to refer this child to a therapist, to our psychologist, to our doctors, to various other support systems. You understand? And now we are talking about integration of mental health into schools, where we can have collaboration with schools. For every school, you must have, your referral centers where you can easily say that this child needs to go for a psychological assessment, this child needs to go for a neurodevelopmental assessment, as the case may be. We can also involve our, guidance and counselors, our school nurses. I had a presentation not quite long ago where I had a robust presentation on school mental health. Trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. This is a structured therapy which helps children process traumatic memories, manage distressing emotions, and develop coping skills. So when they come to the hospital, there are coping strategies and mechanisms that can be taught, you understand, in them, and then the outcome is a lot better. For most children learn a lot and they learn more when the activity is full of fun, you understand. So through play therapy, through art therapy, all of these are evidence-based, treatment methods for treatment of post-traumatic experience in children. Narrative exposure therapy, prolonged exposure therapy, and so on. What are the do's and the don'ts? For the don'ts, my slides are not there. So for us, we don't want to shame or humiliate any child in the classroom as much as possible. We don't want to shame or humiliate any child. We don't want to label any child as being lazy or stubborn. I have seen a lot of them with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder that would describe them, especially the inattentive type, you know, when they don't have symptoms of hyperactivity. They're just there, their attention span is so short that they can hardly pick or concentrate on anything. And the way we write our reports or remarks, the way we carelessly pass our messages on them goes a long way. So labeling child as being lazy or being stubborn, we need to be extra careful as educators, forcing a child to disclose a traumatic experience. So you can look at that child. There's what we call the emotion thermometer. So is it a good time to talk to this child? You can excuse this child from the classroom, take to a private place where both of you can have one-on-one talk. Ignoring persistent emotional difficulties, please take your time to look at that child. What is our dues? Create a safe, predictable classroom for every child. Be calm and be supportive. If you are not calm yourself, no child will trust you to tell you what is going on with them. Listen without judgment. Listen without judgment. Praise strength and effort. A lot of them love praise. Praise them, maintain consistent routine. Remember that each child is unique, so tailoring intervention to their specific needs is crucial. Collaborating with parents, with caregivers, with hospitals, with professionals, child and adolescent psychiatrists, psychologists, other educators, to ensure comprehensive support. The key take home: trauma is common among children. It's commoner that we can think of. The ones that we are looking at, or the ones that we are most worried about, are the ones that banditry, they have abducted. A lot is actually going on in different homes that we don't even have access to. Trauma affects emotion, behavior, and learning. Teachers play a vital role in early identification and offering support. A supportive school environment can promote recovery. Thank you for your time.
No. We'll take questions and you can go. We'll take questions later. Once again, let's put hands together for our doctor. You agree with me that Dr. Temilade did so well, even though I was behind her trying to make her do very fast, but she delivered to the point. Thank you so much, Doc, for the work you are doing. We'd like to take some goodwill messages, right? So we'd like to take some goodwill messages. I have a list of organizations and schools that are represented here. So the chair has asked me to give you 2 minutes each to quickly make your goodwill messages, because we need to go to the second panel session. And we still have a keynote speaker. I don't know, is he around, Madam Chair? Do we have Mr. Folusho Phillips in? Okay, not yet, okay. So we take the goodwill messages. Let me begin with the representative of the Apostolic Faith Secondary School, Mr. Temitayo Osisoya, the principal. 2 minutes, please. Let's make welcome Mr. Temitayo Osisoya from Apostolic Faith Secondary School for the goodwill message. Oh, he stepped out. Okay. I know I recognize the presence of the Alhaji from the League of Muslim School Proprietors. He's here. Please make welcome Alhaji Mansour for the goodwill message. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry, Alhaji. Sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to also observe our protocols. I wouldn't want to start naming the dignitaries as we are here seated. Following what has been said earlier, especially by one of the panelists, Mr. Abiodun Kawunishi, I want to ask that the way we are looking at the whole issue, we should also look at it from another angle other than what we seem to be looking at. That is from the angle of the private schools. Unfortunately, the permanent secretary has just left. We are directing the whole thing to the public schools as if the public schools only exist, or they are the majority in terms of the coordination, or the population, or rather, of schools lies and starts and ends with them. But what am I trying to say in essence is that we should also give our attention to the private schools. We should not look at the private schools as a subset. Rather, we should rather see the private schools as the majority, where the whole ball lies. You know, this is because the fact that the state government, Lagos State government, for example, officially said that over 60% of the students in Lagos State is in the hand of the private schools. And we have, for instance, over around 2,000 public schools, both the primary and secondary. And we have over 21,000 private schools in Lagos State. Just get out here now and start counting. Before you will see one CMS or Bariga public school, you'll have seen so international school, so international school. And that's what I'm now saying. These schools should be given more attention, the private schools, in terms of when we are thinking about when we talk about anything we want to give to, okay, let's just take, for instance, now you're saying digital equity or digital equality in education policies for inclusive education. This digital equality should be thought of in terms of the private schools too. So if you have any intervention you need to give out, look at the private schools too and direct these things. And don't look at the private school from the angle of, oh, they have it all. Look at those who are not also as big as those ones you are thinking of, you know, and who really need that assistance as much as the public schools too. So I think that's just one of those areas I wanted to also reflect on. And finally, there is a lot we need to do. There are so many areas that education is having this problem. We should not, wherever we look at it, it's just a side of it. There are other areas too that needs to be looked at. And then there is need for all of us to come together as owners of schools, as far as the private school is concerned, and also stakeholders in education too, where we need to carry the burden together. May God help us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alaji. Thank you. I told you, educationists, they are like our pastors. Once you give them a microphone, you have a lot of inspirations. The spirit of a prophet is subject to the prophet. The chair is laughing because she also herself, she's a good culprit. Thank you, Alaji, for a good one. A good message to be taken by the principal representing the chair. Please pardon me to say Mr. Temitayo Oshisonya from Apostolic Faith Secondary School. Please, let's make welcome for his goodwill message. Goodwill. You have just to wish us well? Yes. We believe you mean well for us. That's why you are here. You know. Let's put our hands together for him. 1 minute, just a minute of your good wishes for this group from Apostolic Faith. Even if it's just a prayer.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm happy to be here. And I'm standing on behalf of the Chairman, Board of Governors of Apostolic Faith Secondary School, Anthony, Lagos. We have our schools all over Nigeria, over 13 of them, as mission schools. So this is my first time of being here, and so far, I'm encouraged that the future of education in Nigeria is bright, and that all stakeholders coming together to reason together and ensure a framework that we work for the future of our children. And certainly one of these days, we know that as we keep on talking about it from time to time, the people will listen, our leaders will listen. And somehow, some of us here might find ourselves in positions of power too. May we not fail when we get there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Temi Tayo. Thank you so much. I think this man should be awarded a degree in good message making, right? Yes. Please put your hands together for him once again. Yes. I'm told we have a few of our sponsors here, and they have a minute also to tell us something. So please, I'll call your name and your organization as I have it written here. Please make your way to the front. EduTech, please make welcome Tolu for EduTech. 1 minute. Let's put our hands together for Tolu EduTech. So you just tell us in a minute why your organization was part or is part of this. That's all.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It's an honor to be here, and I would like to appreciate the organizers of this program. So, EdTech Interactive, we are a smart board company, and we are collaborating with this program because we are talking about technology. And we all understand that the way education is going now, technology has become an important part. So, with the way things are now, I believe schools are no longer meant to still be using things like projectors, whiteboards to be teaching in schools. So as part of our way of enhancing education in Nigeria, we have something called the EdTech Interactive Board. So it's a special board, it's a smart board, just like you have your smartphones. So this is a board that you can write on, you can draw on, and you can do everything on in a classroom. So it looks like a smart screen, but it works better than a smart screen. And we have it in various sizes. And because we don't have time, I would have loved to present something or show something. So for better understanding of this smart board, when you come outside, you will see the board live and direct outside. So the board has special softwares that helps education. So with this, I don't want to take a lot of time. I just want you all to please come outside and see the smart board. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Tolu, for that. Next is Bolaji Okoya, right? Bolaji Okoya, Septem. Please, let's make welcome Bolaji Okoya. Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bolaji Okoya, the Managing Director of Septem 7 Investment Limited. We manufacture paint, but I like to see myself as a paint solution company. That is, painting is not just, applying paint on the wall or, just before you get that effect, there's a lot that basically goes into it. So we're a paint manufacturing company and also a paint solution company. I believe that we can easily collaborate with you because I mean a lot of schools here with a great lot of content, that they have. But the thing is, I think if we partner with you, the most important thing is the aesthetics, the beauty of the school, how it looks like and all, and trust me, a good paint will basically win parents your way. And yeah, we're willing to cooperate with you in terms of giving you what you want. We manufacture high-grade quality paints. We have various paints that can actually meet your various needs. We've done so many projects. And one of the projects that we are lucky to have probably been part of is the Tolu Complex. That's the biggest school in Africa, at least according to what they are saying, in Nigeria. So, yeah, so we did that project, and it was obviously budget-friendly as well. We are willing to collaborate with other financial institutions and things like that in order to basically come up with a plan so that you will not be able to lose out on some of these, some of our products that we have. So, and then we also have a product that I really think that you would really, you should really take advantage of. It's called September Repello Paint. I'm sharing my colleagues are sharing the flyer right now. Repello Paint is a mosquito repellent paint. You do not need to ask your children to bring mosquito nets to boarding school. I think that is archaic and that is ancient. All you just need to do is apply this Repello paint in the boarding rooms, and if you want, you can apply it in your classrooms as well. And it gets rid of cockroaches, mosquitoes, wall geckos, and all those crawling animals that usually go on the wall. So I mean, we have a whole lot of other products. Is it dampness of wall? We have a special paint for that as well. That is why I said we are a solution company. So, but at the end of this program, we have a stand outside. Please feel free to visit us, and we'll be able to tell you more about our products. Thank you.
Thank you, Koya. Please put your hands together for Bolaji for a job well done. I'd like to also add my voice that beyond what they have said there, please approach their stands outside the hall where you can ask questions, see for yourself what they are saying, and all that is needed. Next, to talk to us for a minute is Michael from Revoku. Michael? Okay, Michael is not around. Let's have Ayo from Union Bank. Ayo from, yes. Let's put our hands together for Ayo, please. You are speaking now as a sponsor. Don't worry. Your time is coming when you are as a panelist. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I also want to stand on existing protocols, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. So, Union Bank has been serving the education sector for 109 years, and we're still counting. We understand that schools, let me say schools, and indeed every player in the education sector have two broad objectives. One is that you want to see the impact of your activities. You want to see it in measurable forms. You want to see the number of children that are passing external exams. You want to see the number of your children who are moving on to higher education, and the rest of the impact is so very important, because every time I speak with a school owner, it's one conversation that always elicits emotions to see the impact of all your activities. And we also understand that you want to grow. Growth is very important. It's a critical part of all the things that you do. Now, but there's a third one, right, that We also know that every private school want to achieve, or let me say most private schools, and that's profitability. Because for a lot of us, we set up our schools for business purposes, even though key for us is impact and growth. And it is on the strength of this understanding that everything that Union Bank does for schools and every player in the education sector, it's on this that we develop all the things that we do, the initiatives that we drive, the products that we offer, the services that we offer. So I'm just here to let you know that Union Bank is the bank for your school. Union Bank is a bank to engage for the developmental objectives that you have, the growth objectives that you have, the way to work with a banking partner, to achieve your objectives. Union Bank is a bank to consider. Also, as a testament to the fact that schools are our focus, we have developed over the years set of propositions that we put under the tag name that we call Edu 360, just to demonstrate our focus on education, on the education sector of the Nigerian economy, and our desire and commitment to see that this sector grows, and then you're able to deliver the impact that you really, really desire to do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Union Bank, thank you. That name, Union Bank, has been existent since I was a kid. I've been hearing Union Bank, Union Bank. Thank you so much. From RevoCube, let's make welcome Rachel, please, for a minute. Please, let's be fast about that. Let's put hands together for her.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rachel. It's a pleasure being here today. So, my name is Rachel from RevoCube's Technology, the creator of SchoolRevs. SchoolRevs is a school solution software that automates the 4 pillars of your school: your academics, your communication, your finance, and computer-based, that's your CBT. So that's why we're here. We create a school portal that helps your school eliminate paperwork. Also, while creating the portal, you need power with the expenses of diesel now, how you spend on diesel. We also do solar solution. We create solar solution for schools, for institutions, and for businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Last but not the least on this sponsorship, before we move to a few of the goodwill messages we have next, please make welcome Dikwo, okay, from Connect One. Let's put hands together for Dikwo. Let's clap for him. I mean, we should appreciate his Emilio con cap, yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ladipo Oke, and I work with Connect One. And first, standing on all existing protocol. I'm not here to market anything. I'm here to share an experience. One, I'm a product of 2 distinguished teachers who are late now, and I've been in this education ecosystem for the past 15, 18 years. We started with the deployment of smart boards into Nigerian schools, and we have our infrastructure in over 5,000 classrooms in Nigeria today. But my challenge today is the fact that I've looked at this system, and I've found out that there's a big, major problem. In Lagos State alone, like my brother said, you have close to 20,000 private schools and less than 1,800 public schools. The challenge today is who is driving education in Lagos State? As huge as that number is, schools are dying every day. Schools are having challenges that are mind-blowing every day. Every sector of the economy has some level of concession. There's concession from tax, there's concession on so many things. But when it comes to the private education market, there is nothing. Nothing at all. The landlords chase us, the parents hang us, the vendors don't deliver on time. It's a myriad of challenges, and yet tax is still a big burden on these schools. We joined this association for one simple reason. We saw leadership in LCCI, and we believe, like Edgar Hoover said, he said, this world is full of so much evil, not because of those who do it, but those who sit and allow it to happen. We believe at this instant there is a need to have a radical rethink in our condition of driving education in this country. The private education market deserves critical attention. Critical attention. If you believe in that, so just say yeah. Thank you. And we believe that with the partnership with LCCI, I believe so strongly, with due respect, sir, you can make it happen. We joined this association a few months ago. We partnered with some companies in LCCI. And what did we do? We transferred their products at control prices to schools, to teachers, and in less than 3 months, we've done close to 150 million transaction turnover for these organizations. There is a way out. If we're all determined to make a difference, there is a way out. And why I'm calling on corporate Nigeria today is to rethink their focus on education. Everything that we're doing, who is going to provide the human capital to drive it is the schools. And interestingly, the private sector is a major driver in this enterprise. So I stand up today on behalf of every institution in this state to say it's time to call for a change. And I believe that LCCI, with your robust leadership, you help build the cart. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you so much. A brother from Connect One. Like I jokingly said when you were coming up, that your Emilio Concap is enticing. We just want to urge you that as you progress as a country, please let the Emilio Concap reflect in the pocket of Nigerian and in the lifestyle of Nigerian. All right, we have some goodwill messages coming in. One house. Thank you. Thank you. Please make welcome the representative of the World Organization for Early Childhood Education in Nigeria, OMEP. Please put your hands together for OMEP representative for their goodwill message. Let's clap for her. I don't have a name. I wasn't given a name. They just say, call OMEP. Call OMEP. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm Dr. Mrs. Adenike Adeagbo, representative of OMEP, Lagos State Chapter. OMEP means World Education for Early Childhood Education. So it's a group of people who are lovers of children. And because we are lovers of children, we also love LCCI. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mrs. Adeagbo. Your goodwill message is so powerful. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Because you love children, you love SCCI. Thank you so much, ma'am. Please make welcome for a very short, powerful goodwill message, Dr. Comfort Aderunke Otegbeye, PEPSO, Platform for Educators and Private School Owners. Please put your hands together for Dr. Comfort.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I acknowledge all protocol. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and members of Platform of Private School Owners, PEPSO, I extend our warmest greetings and best wishes to the organizers, speakers, and participants in this important conference on technology, policy, and access, building inclusive education systems for the future. As we navigate rapidly in this evolving world, may the deliberations here at this conference generate innovative ideas, practical solutions, and collaborative partnership that will advance equitable access to quality education for all learners. I wish you a very successful and impactful conference, and I trust that the outcomes will contribute meaningfully to shaping a more inclusive and sustainable future for education, and that the discussions will yield actionable outcomes for all the education sector. Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc. This is one of the reasons why I wasn't giving up on my own doctoral degree too. You know, when doctors speak, very short, powerful, and very inspiring. Thank you, Dr. Comfort. All right, I'm told we have last message from one of our sponsors, Mr. Adebayo from Classify. Let's put hands together for Adebayo. Let's clap for Adebayo, please.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mr. Adebayo from Classify Nigeria. What we do as Classify is actually to change perception. Sometimes we believe that for something to be valuable, it must be expensive, but we beg to differ. At Classify, we provide AI-based app that helps to manage school activities, starting from being able to, taking attendance system. We have attendance system that every learner that comes to school, they scan their ID card and their parent gets notified. Likewise for teachers too. We also, at our app, you could conduct CBT examination. Then also through our app, you could generate automatically the end of the term report, which leave a lot of stress for teachers. And also our app also manage finance for the school. Finance for the school. Then also, using our app, you could, for those that are writing SS3 examination now, there are a lot of e-learning on Classify app, which they could practice with. Then also, Classify also helps to provide or host websites for schools and also social media for professionalism and feasibility. So Classify is all out to change perception, to make education something we partner with school to build a sustainable education. And what we are almost about is access and inclusivity. Like we talked about, some schools don't have access to this exorbitant school management app, but at Classify, we provide excellent service with just a money that does not tear your pocket, of course. So we provide such service, and over 10,000 schools are already using Classify in Nigeria and neighboring country, and we have been changing perception, and we'd like you to join us in this wonderful way of transforming education digitally and also making teachers' work easy. Thank you so much for your audience.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We'd like to move to the second panel session, but I'd like to passionately plead with us. The room is becoming gradually noisy. I know we are educators, so we are trained to talk, but this session is so critical because of what it holds and the caliber of men and women on the panel. So I'd like to urge that we please keep the house in order so that we can maximize the opportunity. Please bear in mind that we will have a session of question and answer after the session, so you can note your questions. And I'd like us to engage so well the panelists. So permit me to bring up stage the moderator for this session, Mr. As I have Koyejo Oluwatosin, CEO, Chronicle Software. Let's put hands together for him. The moderator is not in. Chair? Does she want to represent Oluwatosin? Madam Chair, the house is waiting for you. Okay, while I'll allow me, Madam Chair, to sort out the moderator, let me bring up stage the panelists so that we can use the opportunity to, okay. At this occasion today, one of our panelists is Mr. Oladega Adebogun, who is here this morning represented by the professor in the house, Professor Olalekan Asika, Vice Chancellor, Caleb University, Lagos. Thank you, Prof. Thank you. Also, we have from Carey School, Mrs. Ozomena Blessing. Let's put hands together for Mrs. Blessing Ozomena. Let's put hands together for her, please. Thank you. Thank you, ma. Thank you. Take your seat. Also to serve as one of our panelists is Mrs. Olufunke Amber Flower. Let's put hands together for her. Proprietor, Vivian Flower Memorial Secondary School. That school that is known in Lagos and beyond Lagos too. Thank you. Please, let's clap for her, please. I need the last seat. She promised she's going to bring the last seat for me so that I can bring up the last panelist. Yes. Please get me, let's have one of the seats. Okpayemi, please. We need one of these seats to come up stage. Or Okpayemi or any of our membership officers outside, please help us. Please permit me for us to have the seat before I bring up our sorry, just 1 minute. We want to bring the last seat for the last discussant. Please, let's just get one. Francis, can you go bring my seat from the office? Maybe the moderator will use that, then we allow the panelists use the seat for the moderator. Sorry, we just wanted everyone to be seated. Please, just 1 minute. They'll bring the seat. Please be fast. Yes, we should leave now, yes. Thank you, man. Thank you. Please, thank you so much for your understanding. Our last discussant for today is Mr. Ayokumi Abraham from Union Bank. Let's put hands together for him, please. While I then hand over this session to Mrs. Dideolu Adekogbe, yes, to moderate for the next 30 minutes. 30 minutes. So by 1:30, we'll be rounding this up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, President, and everyone on the I table, and all the attendees. We are glad you're here. I also appreciate everyone on the panel. Thank you for making time to be here. Today we'll be having this discussion on future-ready institution, building for the long term. And we have this panel is really rich because we are going to take it from the beginning all through to transition to succession. You know, we have people we talk in that category here. And so we're starting off by, what does vision mean to you? Vision. Let's start. Union Bank, you know. You know. So, can I use the mic there? There is one here. Okay, let's take. Good. Vision. What does?
So, the vision of Union Bank is that we are Nigeria's most reliable and trusted partner. We have transitioned from big, strong, reliable because that is what was relevant then. Now we're a simpler, smarter bank. Simpler, smarter bank.
Wow.
But you can connect both because it's one organization on a journey. So what is vision? Vision is who we are. Or let's say who we want to be. The description of who I want to become. That's what vision is.
Thank you so much. Can you please pass the mic to Ms. Samba? How are you? I'm very well. So what's vision? I know that when Mommy started, it was a long one. So how has it been?
For me, vision is not a document. It's a culture. It's you living through what you believe in. Many people don't understand their vision because they don't live through it. Your whole ecosystem, your whole community has to identify what your vision is. A vision is what do you do when people are not watching? Because we tend to be so heavy on content and information, which does not translate to transformation. So that's where there's a handicap in vision. We have very, very beautiful slogans. We have very, very beautiful things we say about vision, but a vision has to be lived. And it has to be lived not by the founder, but it has to be lived from everybody in that community.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes. Can we put our hands together for that? How to outlive even the visioner, vision. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So from my own perspective, when you talk about vision, you are looking at what you want to see, what you want to achieve, how you want to go about it. What are the things you want to see around you? That is vision for me. And when you look at it holistically, aside you achieving those things, what will the future look like? Will it still stand the test of time? Because we are not just talking about now, we are talking about tomorrow, we are talking about 20 years' time, 50 years' time. So will it still stand the test of time? So that is it about vision.
Thank you so much. What you want to see, what you want to be. Thank you so much. Can we put our hands together, please? And to Prof, vision.
Yes. A vision is a plan of the future. What is it that you want to be seen as? Where do you want to be? What are the things that you want to accomplish that will fulfill the intention of the establishment, whether it's a business or even your life?
Just let's retain the mic there. I'll just take. Can we give him the mic back? So I will just. Okay, is there another mic close to him? Okay, all right. So thank you so much, sir. What you want to be, where you want to get to. And so Caleb has existed for a long while now, from nursery, primary, to secondary, or through now to tertiary. So leadership, what is leadership to, has Caleb been able to navigate, from then to now? What has leadership been for Caleb?
Yes. For Caleb, because we already have where we are going, we have a picture of a future in mind. And for us, leadership is about seeing ahead of everyone and influencing people that are to follow, motivate them to achieve what you have seen. Okay. So when you see the migration from Caleb Primary to Caleb Secondary, then to the university, you will be seeing a trajectory of a visionary leader. Someone who had seen beyond the present and is trying to ensure that he's establishing the intention he had in mind. So for us, leadership is influencing others to achieve the goal that has been set.
All right. And so I'll give you one more. And how has it been that Caleb Institutions has been able to build a system that will outlive, the vision?
The founder, yes. And that is the problem. The problem is that people try to solve a long-term problem with a short-term solution. You see? And one of the speakers spoke and said, schools are dying. They will continue to die. Because the person who established the school did not also intend that it should outlive him. If you have a vision that will outlive you, how do we know? We know by the strategic plan you put in place. When we talk about a future ready or a future situation, we are not talking about 4 years of one political term. That's not what we are talking about. So you cannot expect a Sanwo-Olu to do a plan for Lagos that is for 4 years. If the schools in Lagos and the schools everywhere must live ready into the future, then we are talking about 50 years. We are talking about who can plan from now, 2026 to 2076. We are not talking about what we end in another 4 years and another person will come and start talking about something else and abandon what this other person has done. Okay? There is no continuity in Nigerian educational system, and that's why we are. And you see, it is only a madman that will be doing one thing the same way and be expecting a different result. It doesn't happen anywhere. So we need to begin to build a future, one that we talk about. Somebody talked about the remuneration of the teachers. What is the career progression today of a teacher teaching in primary school? What is it that will make him to remain there as a teacher and retire as a teacher in primary school and it will be fulfilled? No career progression in place that will sustain a future. So if there is no career progression in place that will sustain a future, you can't have a future. Because a future is not hard on a platter of meat and food and drink and things like that.
Beyond it.
Yeah. So what is it that we must do? We must be able to begin to plan a long term. We must be able to say, what is the career progression of these teachers? How will they send their own children to the best schools also? Okay? Then we must be able to talk about infrastructure. What are the infrastructural support? It's good thing that Lagos State is giving people smart this, smart that, and all of that, and the banks are supporting them. It's good. But you can't teach anybody on a smart anything without electricity. Can you be coding on a laptop and when you don't know where to power it the next time? Even if you had powered it from a barbing salon or something and you are bringing it to your class, by the time the power finishes, where do you go? So these are issues. The issue is that we are picking our problem on the head. We are not really thinking to really solve the problem. We are not thinking of a future that can sustain what we want to do. We are not really thinking like that. We are only thinking of the present. A curriculum. The kind of, number 3 is the curriculum you have to put in place. The curriculum must be able to last the test of time. I'm not seeing a generational thinking. And as much as there is no generational thinking in the educational sector, don't expect much. You have so many 20,000 schools because somebody wants to survive. It's not because somebody is thinking about educational sector to develop.
Can we put our hands together? Somebody wants to survive. And I tell you, that's what we see so much, especially in our sector. It's not something that is general in other sectors. Education is actually so bastardized, because people feel it's the easiest and the simplest and the smartest. You can start in your garage, that kind of. And so, can we have the mic? Thank you so much, sir, to Ms. Fowler. It's been an interesting journey, I'm sure. It wasn't an easy task to come. Sometimes I heard this. I spoke about how mommy handled you, and now you came into the system. One would have been thinking that as the founder's daughter, you come in and just take the top seat. But, she didn't get to do that. So building doesn't create, enduring institution. Culture does. So how do you intentionally build a culture that remains strong even as technology and curriculum and leadership evolve?
Culturally, we associate succession with death, and it becomes an handicap. Because when we talk about succession, it's an uncomfortable conversation because culturally it's associated with, am I going to die? Not understanding that you're looking at the long-term plan. So for you to build a long-standing institution, there are many factors. What are your hiring techniques? What kind of people are you hiring? What kind of culture are you putting in place? And it's also important to understand that these things have to be consistent. Many people associate technology with succession, but we also have to understand that technology changes, but curricula evolves. So we need to understand that in building a future institution, we have to have global standards. I'm not saying we have to import English or American standards, but they're global standards for things. A lot of us do not have updated policies. We don't have policies in place. We don't even have onboarding policies for our staff. We're still running our schools as though they're personal institutions. So if you want your institution to be futuristic, it's important for you to not associate futuristic with technology and understand that we get a lot of things confused. We associate, we don't understand that innovation and values work together. If you inculcate the right values into your system, then these things would work. But many of us believe that if we have a smart board, we have a very expensive infrastructure, then you're building a futuristic school. We have to keep being consistent in what we do. I mean, from my personal experience, I came from a very high-flying banking job, and I had to come and learn succession. And in learning succession, I had to work in every single department. I used to go to Okeari, I used to go to Mile 12, I had to be a teacher at some point, I worked in the boarding house. So succession is understanding that everybody is part of the succession story. We don't hire for succession. That's what the problem is, because we're not hiring correctly. So when you're hiring, I think the gentleman said, if you're a primary school teacher, what are the promotional grounds for you to move up? But that's also part of the succession story. You're hiring people who maybe be a teacher, you've trained them, they may move into admin. You know, you're hiring in those ways. But I think that the reason a lot of schools collapse is that you don't have policies in place, you're not hiring properly, your KPIs are very, very weak, and you're not being consistent in what you're doing. Because you have to understand that values also will help you with ensuring that succession goes in hand with what you're doing, and you're able to build a futuristic school. So it's beyond money. I think we have mixed the two. We have eliminated values, and we have let innovation overtake so many things, and that we're not building the true foundation of what will keep your foundation to stand a test of time.
And so for Vivian Fowler School, what is that strength? What is that value that keeps the system running? It doesn't even look like anything has happened, as in, you know, you just keep on like that. What has kept it this strong?
I think I'm speaking for everybody in the educational community. Many of us are in competition. If we realize that we don't need to be in competition, we will build the education ecosystem. Many people are scared of training teachers because you say they will leave. Well, if you don't train, you're breaking down the system. So I think as a school of 35 years old, I don't think it's not that we've not had challenges, but we're truly a school that believes in training. And there's something we say to our employees: this is not your last stop. But we want you to understand that while you're here, you have a spiritual and personal responsibility to make sure that you're an addition to the ecosystem. So I think it's not been a perfect journey like every other school. We've had challenges with the economic situation in the country, but I think that what has kept us standing is that we look beyond Vivian Fowler. We see ourselves as contributing, you know, to the ecosystem, and understand that, you know, it's not all about us.
Thank you so much. Shall we put our hands together? It's not all about us. It is beyond us. We have a responsibility to the whole community, to the nature, and everyone. And thank you so much once again. And sir, Union Bank, the history of banking. And what, I mean, we have Generational Bank, we have the Gen Z Bank, we have the, I mean, how have you been able to cope with OPay, Money Point? I mean, what happened? How's it been like?
Okay, so the landscape has been very competitive,
Yeah.
no doubt.
It's almost looking like education, is it? Like schools springing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the fintechs are more nimble. They are able to do certain things faster and, you know, easier. But one of the things that we have learned that Union Bank has come to do or to come to terms with, and what we do, is that we collaborate a lot. So we understand that for us to be able to serve our customers as well as should, in the speed at which we should serve, and of course in the ways that the customer wants to be served, because at the end of the day, it is how the customer wants to be served that we have to deliver the services that we render. So we collaborate, we partner for us to be able, with this, with fintechs and other players that offer value-added services for us to be able to serve customers. So that's one of the things that has kept us going.
In talent management, how has it been?
So the industry has experienced brain drain over the years because of the Japa syndrome. But we, of course, we won't fold our hands. We continue to attract very good talent because, just like she had mentioned, training is a key activity for us. So we recruit at different levels, junior levels, senior levels, and the rest of it. But training continues to be part of what we do for us to be able to make sure that, yes, we attract. Even after we attract, we make sure that the quality that we want the people that work in Union Bank to have, that quality is presented to them in form of training. And a part of the structure that we run is to be deliberate also about coaching. So that people come into the bank, but there is a senior or middle management person who is able to also work. It's part of our culture and the way we work.
And do you have quite a number of staff staying back at this reduced turnover rate?
Okay, so I would choose to answer the question the way I want. Because, I mean, the issues are common, they are industry-wide. But in Union Bank, the average age of employees at Union Bank is about 35. So it's a young, workforce. Yeah, and we continue to, as I said, we continue to attract talent. People would come, people would go, that's normal. We'll continue to attract talent and then make sure that the people who are employed are not only able to do one thing. People are able to do different things so that when there's a need to add responsibility, that can be done. Where there's a need to move people into different roles, just to make sure that we have a workforce that is strong and optimized, we also do that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can we put our hands together for him? Can you please pass the mic to Mrs. Thank you so much. Yes. You came into a system that was already established. How did you come in?
Okay, thank you. It was intentional. Yeah. I took over from my mom, running her school. It was an intentional act. I watched her build Caris from the scratch. I understudied all that she was doing. And I practically worked in every department. I told myself I can do it.
Wow.
And you know, when you talk about succession, you don't just say until I get old. So my mom started very early, preparing not just only me, we were about 5. So all the promotions end. So it wasn't automatic. Do you understand? So as we were working, she was checking, seeing all that we were doing. I taught in the classroom for years, worked in almost all the departments in the school. So she was also checking, seeing how the whole thing was going. So when it was time for her to hand over, she haven't known that I can't do it. She handed over to me, and her vision, she made it clear, and haven't seen all that she has labored for. I told myself, this must not die in my hands. So I have to go all out to ensure that her vision stands and to ensure that I even surpass what she has handed over to me. So that was how I came on board.
Brilliant. Just before you go. Okay. Okay.
Okay, this is working. Just lend my voice to the conversation around building to last, which is really what we've been talking about. There's a very important part of the foundation building that I want to speak to. And of course, this is also learning from, yes, I'm 109 years old.
Okay.
I'm 109 years old.
Yes, that's okay. You're not old. And you are still competing with the...
Learning from the history of Union Bank. And that is the interplay of your vision and your strategy. It's very important. So your vision or mission, those things that we say that this is what represents us. This is how we describe ourselves. I've said that for Union Bank is that we're Nigeria's most reliable and trusted partner. Not banking partner, but partner. So meaning that we offer more than banking services, right? And then how does that interplay with our strategy? Strategy is, what do you want to do? Where do you want to do it? How do you want to deliver it? For how long do you want to go? So this transgenerational conversation that we're having, for how long do you want to do it? So it's very important that every time we're thinking about how to build to last, you have a culture. That culture of, this is who I am, or okay, this is who I want to be if I'm not already that. And how the things I want to do should interplay with that vision, that mindset, that very core structure that you will never let go of is very important. So everything you do, you build, should be around that. Whether you're building physical infrastructure or you're building intangible infrastructure, so you're building partnerships so that your logistics can be smooth. Whatever it is that you're doing, it's important that these two, the interplay between them, is something that you take very seriously because it takes you for the long haul. Thank you.
Okay, I still like to ask a question there. What is the mindset? I think she has a mind. The mindset of one to take over, one who is longing to continuously build what has been built. What kind of mindset should people, children, workers, because this state, it shouldn't necessarily be somebody that is biologically related. It can be anybody. So what mindset should we have for a future-ready institution and, in the system? Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. It's beyond the founder's daughter. So, like I said earlier, trust has to be there, and you just have to serve. Then lead later.
Okay, serve.
You just have to serve, then lead later. The reason for that is that you must know what you want to do. I mean, knowing what you want to do, you must know the in and out of the business. You can't just come from anywhere and just start changing things overnight. That is where the serving comes first. Because in serving, it gives you the opportunity to know more about that business. So you have to have that open mind in learning. And even while you are serving and you notice that you can't do this, you should be honest enough to say, I can't do this. Because when you talk about succession, it's not automatic. I am privileged to have taken over from my mom. That doesn't mean my children will take over from me. It is not automatic. Do you understand? But one thing is sure, her vision must stand. If by the time my children can take over, I will get a professional to run the school. But her vision must stand. You get it? So that is how it works.
That's
serve first, then lead later.
Awesome. Prof, sir.
Thank you.
Serve first and lead. To Prof.
Now, let me just quickly lend my voice to this discourse.
Okay.
You see, how do you build a business that lasts? You build a business that lasts. You're fortunate because you're speaking with a professor of strategy and entrepreneurship.
Oh,
Now, you build a business that lasts when you have entrepreneurial mindset. Are you hearing me? Now, what is the entrepreneurial mindset? The entrepreneurial mindset is the mindset that is proactive. You see, for you to say this business should outlast me. Are you getting what I'm saying? I may not last, let this business last. What it means is that you are having a building blocks that you are setting, that you are already putting in place to make the business to last. You are already looking at factors. You are looking at elements within the environment of business, okay, that will not make this business to sink or that will make it to sink. So in other words, you are proactive in thinking and you are also sensing opportunities within the environment and you are taking calculated risk. So what it means is a business that is going to be talking about 50 years, 100 years time. If you want, for example, you want to build a bungalow. The way you set the foundation is different from the way you will set a foundation of a 10-story building. Is that not so? You will be intentional because you know that this building is going to 10-story. So you will be intentional at the foundation. And that is the relevance of the vision you're talking about. Everybody who is moving in, I celebrate this, the young ladies we have here talking about stepping into their mothers and business. You are young at 60. So talking about, the issue is having the energy of the visionaire also makes the business to last. If you don't have the energy and the mindset of the business of the visionaire, you will buy good things of life, you will just get good things of life, and it is at your own turn that the business will die. So, what makes the business to last? What makes it to go into generational stable? I will say it is carrying the energy of the visionaire. And I respect our sister here that talked about carries and saying he has been with the mother and all. Beautiful. Because you need to rub minds with the visionaire. You must carry the burden of the visionaire. For you to be able to hand over the baton and make the business to last thoroughly. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yeah. So, this issue of having schools that we grow and that we continue to outgrow and outlast the visionaire is we are talking about a system that is built. She said value system, which is beautiful. A system that is built to last. Some products, you will be surprised that some products, they are not built to last. That's why some of us prefer the Chinese product. So sorry to Chinese, some of their products are getting better now, but obsolescence are built into some of their products. Obsolescence are built into the product. The product are not meant to last. So if you are using it for 6 months, they are surprised that it's lasting 6 months. Are you getting what I'm saying? The same way you run an organization. An organization, and that was why I mentioned the fact that we have 20,000 schools in Lagos and they are dying. It's not a news even to those whose schools have died. Because they didn't mean it to last. Somebody wanted to go to Japan, go to Canada. He needed to start a business that will fund the trip. So if the thing dies after he has landed in Canada, so be it. You are the one doing research and crying that why should he die? He should die. So, building to last is first and foremost of the mindset of the visionary. And anyone who is going to take the baton thereafter must be someone who carries the burden and the entrepreneurial mindset of the visionary. And one other factor, again, that is critical is resilience of the governance. Resilience of the governance. Who are the people in charge of this school? What have they built in terms of resilience? Because it doesn't mean that there wouldn't be problems. There will be problems. But because they have built resilience from the beginning, they are ready to weather the storm.
Thank you so much. So much. Okay, you want to say something there? Okay, you want to say something?
Yeah,
okay.
just a minute. So I just want to add that when you talk about succession, you also look at structures, because that is what I am working on currently.
Okay.
You have structures in place that will sustain that business. So whether you are in that room or not, the business will be running.
Awesome.
And those structures, you must maintain them and go all out to ensure that they are running smoothly, because that is what will sustain the business.
Thank you so much. Bless.
Sorry. Beyond the structure is a system you are trying to put in place.
Yeah.
System.
System
runs in the absence of the visionary.
Yes.
If it is an endurable system.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so just say what then?
Okay, so I need to learn my. I'm 109 years old.
And you have seen so much.
So I need to tell you how this thing works. I want to emphasize on resilience. Resilience, because it ties into structure, ties into system, ties into processes.
Processes.
And what they've said is that, look, you have to set up the structures and the system in such a way that even you as a business owner, you are subject to it. You are not an exception. You are not a higher, do you understand?
You're not higher than
it's
this.
very important, because to build that long-term, to build that business that will travel the long term, because really, the joy that I will have is that I build something and I'm able to hand it over to my children, because I've been able to help them understand the value of what it is, and they're able to run it and even take it to a higher level than I can. Or let's even say hand it over to somebody who's able to continue the vision and drive. But for that to happen, this matter of resilience and the things that make it resilient, the structures, the systems, the processes are very important. They have to be documented. They have to be, everybody has to be aware of it. And you as the promoter must be subject to this system that you have built.
Thank you so much. And yes, Mr. Yes.
That's okay. It's
yeah.
okay for them to talk. Yes.
Yes, you will. I'm sure you're going to do a lot of altogether. But while you do that, artificial intelligence is here and is reshaping and shaping, our education system. Innovation, finance, sustainability, all of this together. I mean, how will this work even for school that is built to last? What's the place of AI? What's innovation doing? What about finance? Because even for AI, it's not bread and butter. You understand? So what's the finance? Then how do we get our children ready even now? Because what we see today is beyond what's happening tomorrow. So that because our time.
Yes. Okay. So I think a lot of us are threatened by AI because we don't understand that it's a complementary object. It's not supposed to rule our systems. It's a tool that will prepare students to be able to work on the global stage, whether in Lagos or in Singapore. I'll give you an example. We have become a STEM school. So for the past 4 years, our students have been representing Nigeria in various countries. We've been in Singapore, we've been in Norway, different places in the last 4 years, and we're on our way to Croatia this year. Now, AI should be used as a tool to enhance. And it's a very important tool, especially for teaching and learning. But it should not, it also has to come with values. What we're not teaching our children is the boundaries that comes with AI. AI is an incredible, I mean, I'm addicted to Claude, but Claude goes by what my outputs are. So what happens to us is that we don't become the masters of these tools, but we make them our masters. So AI is a very good tool if it's used responsibly. And I think what happens to a lot of schools, and I say this with the most humility because I've experienced this at our school as well, we don't really teach how to use a tool. We just say we're an innovative school, we're a 21st century school, but we're not teaching people how to use the tools to enhance so that they're used to make sure that, because we have to understand something, these AI tools are going to keep changing.
Absolutely.
You know, there's going to be a time where Claude will be obsolete, chat will be obsolete, you know, many things will be obsolete. But we have to understand, and I keep repeating it, values will never be obsolete. So we need to make sure we're able to marry the two through training. I mean, a lot of us in this room, how many of you teach Lagos State exams for Becca or for WAEC? How many people here in the education sector? Do we have people who teach? It doesn't have to be in the exam sector. You know, what we don't realize, you know, yesterday I was playing around with Claude, for instance. Claude will bring out a Becker paper. It would give you the answers. It would tell you how long the children have to study to get an A in something. So these are tools that we're not really teaching how to use. So AI is a very positive thing that we need to bring into our system, but we're not training people how to use it. And we're making it master us. And anything that masters you is a problem. You need to be able to master the gadget. And I wanted to say something about succession, and I think somebody else has said that. A lot of school owners are very scared about their governing board. You tend to put people on your governing board that have names or are popular, not understanding that they're serving based on their expertise. And without a positive governing board, your school does not have the chance of running the test of time. Because I've known some schools whose school owners have died suddenly, and their board of governors have been able to run the school. So I think that we should also not look at the cultural things that make us handicapped. When we talk about succession, we look at it as financial. We don't want somebody to come and look into our money and take our money. And then we look at succession as a farewell platform, which is succession happens when you die. It's a process. So I think that those are the things we need to look at, that succession is a process. It's not a farewell card or gift you give at the end. Because just like the gentleman from Caleb said, it is a process. And for it to be a process, the foundation has to be standing.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much. Please put your hands together for my panel. And I like us, because of our time, let's just say a parting word. You can wrap up your thought, summarize your thought together, and just parting word for everybody. Yeah.
All right, so Union Bank is a bank for all generations. Union Bank is a bank for all generations, meaning that because we've been around for over 109 years, we understand how to interact and engage with every generation, whether it's Gen Z, Gen Alpha, wherever you are in the spectrum, we're able to serve you. Union Bank has a keen focus on the education sector. and I'm happy to be here today to say that we have the suite of solutions to serve schools and all the players in the ecosystem. So we're here, we're outside, and we would love to interact with you, understand where you would how you want to be served, and then we'll deliver the service to you. Thank you.
All right.
I want to say that the future of education in Nigeria is extremely bright. On the surface, it looks a bit fragile. It looks like we don't have a future, but we have incredible individuals who are outside the shores of Nigeria, who all of you trained. So I think that what we need to constantly understand, this program that was put together was for us to learn more about our ecosystem, is that as educators, we should continually embrace a positive mindset. We should not be scared of change, and we should understand that if you put certain frameworks and policies in place, the days where it's economically fragile, you would understand that what you're doing is more than a calling. You're changing the lives of people who are going to be leaders tomorrow, including the first president who will be a female at some stage.
Okay, I will leave us with this. Serve, then lead later. Put structures in place. And the last one, give value. I repeat, give value. Whatever you are handling now, ensure that you are giving value, because these are the things that will make your business to last for a long period. Thank you.
Yes, let me quickly come straight for LCCI. LCCI. And I hope we are listening. And what is it that I want to say? Can LCCI, as a fallout of this particular event, can LCCI have what I call future readiness certification for schools in Lagos State? Future readiness certification. What will this certification do? This certification will measure governance structures, teachers' retention of schools, maintenance budgets that is put in place for such schools, and curriculum adaptability. Now, when they put all these variables together under their future readiness certification program, they will publish it every year. LCCI. That is sir. President sir. Aha. You know, you will publish it every year. And as you publish it every year, you invite corporate bodies to come and to present those certificates or certification to all the people who have won. And awards will be given. That's if we are really serious about this issue of future readiness and inclusiveness. We should have a scorecard that will be able to measure schools around Lagos and put together the results every year, just like you normally have the Vanguard best Vanguard man of the year, best this. You will do your own best schools of the year based on different categories. Okay? Inclusiveness and future readiness and all of that. When you give such certificate to them, you will publish the results. And no soon you will just find out that the parents, before they take their children to school, they will need to consult your publications. Because you will be showing schools who will soon die. Schools that the proprietor want to go to US, that is only setting it up to collect money and move away. Because the indicators will show all of them. Okay? And it will be a help to the government. Then a fallout for this program again. Advise Lagos State. I checked the last budget for Lagos State, 3.37 trillion, out of which they only voted 6.63 to education. And when you check UNESCO, UNESCO is talking about 15 to 25%. And how do you place it? You know, the response of our dear PAMSEC did not really settle the issue, because the more population that Lagos State is having, the more Lagos State must pump out money, push out money onto education. We have over 20 million people in this state, for goodness sake. And for that, Lagos State should be ready to push out more money if they are really, really serious to help education. So what am I suggesting for Lagos State? Endowment fund. Let there be an education endowment fund that will outlast this present regime, such that the maintenance budgets for each of these schools will be taken from there. And finally, what is it that I want to say? Personal commitment now. I want to tell this house, for this future readiness, that Caleb Group of Schools is going to work on a 50-year strategic plan. And we will release the model to all the schools in Lagos State for them to use. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you for every member of this panel. We have done so well. I'm sure you remember that a future-ready school and the school that is built, or any institution that is built to last, must have value, must ensure that there's a system, there's a structure, must ensure that there is a connection with the foundation. Serve, then lead. And all of this all together with all that have been said, I'm sure we have so much to take home. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. God bless you.
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, discussant. Thank you. Please, let's get back to our various seats. The president would like to make one or two comments before we go to what is next.
Yeah. Prof, you said I should say one or two things. Number one, if you look at the speech, my speech today, the last thing I said was that in closing, technology, policy, and access are not three separate panels today. They are three legs of the same chair. And this chamber intends to help build it three. We have Innovation Hub. And what do we do in an Innovation Hub? It's in Ikeja, one of the best. We have collaboration around the world, so many interests, from BOI, IHS, the German, everyone. It is to make our youth future ready. But what do we do here? We make things possible. We don't just talk about it. When you were talking, I said, yes, this is a voluntary organization, and we will co-opt you. Yeah, we don't. That's it. We will co-opt you, and I've just told the Director General, our Chief Executive, I said you should look at the people here, get their name, co-opt them, or what they are saying, let them implement it, including Union Bank, 109 or how old? Now you have to respect elders. You are 109, I'm 138 years old. Therefore, we are 30 years older than you. Therefore, you are just one of those children that we had. Therefore, I've looked at you. We form a panel, and DG will handle that. On that note, DG, you own the mic.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope we've been enjoying today's session and you've been learning a lot. There's so much energy in the room and I'm so excited because often we have such energy in the room for a lot of our other sectors, but we are glad that today we see that happening for the education sector. Please put your hands together for the chair of the education sector. She's action chairperson. Thank you very much. So, the education sector is one of the key sectors of the economy, and it's one sector that enables the economy to function well, because if we have the right skills within our sectors, then we'll be sure that industry will be taken care of. Is Prof going? Prof, are you going? Prof, you can't go yet, please. Okay, so it will give you, you'll be glad to know that up till now, Caleb Group of Schools is not a member of the chamber, but from today, they are now members. Please clap for Prof. He's now a member of the chamber. So those in the education sector, they are very critical stakeholders of the economy. But what I want to say now, one of the things that the president said earlier is that everything that we do here is part of what the chamber works to build. And I want to give you an idea of what you stand to gain. What you stand to gain by being a member of the chamber. You see all that that the Prof said and every member of the panel talked about today, being future ready, being able to speak to government, being able to influence policy, all of those. That's what we do here at the chamber. So the chamber is the voice of the organized private sector. And when you think about policy advocacy and representation, we are number one. Okay, now there's a lot of noise in the room. I understand that you're all very excited, but can we please quieten down? Thank you. So, policy advocacy and representation is important. All the things you've heard today, from what the PAMSEC said to what the chair said, is all talking about how do we influence policy, how do we ensure that government is doing what they're supposed to do. And that's where we come in, because we can have that conversation with them. But we need all the institutions here to be part of the chamber so we can have a louder voice, so we can speak together, so we can discuss what our pain points are, and we can engage with different agencies of government. Because we are as old as the president says we are, 138 years, we have access to both the federal government, state government, local government. Therefore, whatever kind of intervention or conversations you want to have, we are here to make that happen. That's why it's important. The other thing reason why you should join the chamber is networking. You see, now we've created a platform. You have all come together here. Some people you haven't seen before, some you haven't seen in a long time, but now you have seen them, you can engage, you can exchange cards. That's networking, and strategic partnerships will come out of networking. Yesterday we had an event with the Hotel and Tourism and e-commerce group, and somebody said that the chamber has given him an opportunity to network in a safe environment. That is what it is. That you can meet others in other sectors apart from education. So if you're in the education sector, you need those in the financial services sector because you need money to expand. So you need investors. You need those in other sectors of the economy who have CSR projects that you can benefit from. So the chamber gives you an opportunity to network and engage with others. The chamber also gives you an opportunity to showcase yourself. So maximum visibility, maximum credibility for your institution. If you are associated with the chamber, any international organization can find you. They will see that you are somebody who is committed to ethics, you are somebody who is committed to nation building. You're somebody who is committed to all the things that we profess. So it's important for you to engage with us. Now, Prof has given us another assignment, which speaks to business intelligence and market information. What kind of information should we put forward for the business world? How do we ensure that we can benchmark the different schools? What information do you need from the proprietors to the kind of students, and how they are prepared for the future? So that's also something that we are able to do. On a quarterly basis, we have a state of the economy engagement with the press, and the president speaks to the nation on the state of the economy. Therefore, you have an opportunity to have a say in what we say to the press, because you can then put in issues around the education sector and have it in the press. We also support capacity building. See, all these things I'm telling you, they're things that you gain access to by being a member of the chamber. We also support capacity building and professional development. And so, although we do have a unit called Business Education Services and Training, which is in Ikeja, and we are willing to partner. As we build our curriculum, we partner with those in this sector to build capacity. You will agree with me that building capacity is something that is critical for our, even when we think about the Nigerians' industrial policy, capacity building is critical. And so we look to the education sector for that process. So you see, there are so many things that we can do together. And the last I will talk about is being a member of the education group. Being a member of that group means that you are engaging with your peers in the sector. And so when you discuss the problems that you have, when you discuss government policies that are not favorable to you, when you talk about how do you engage with the commissioner or how do you engage with the state government on issues pertinent to the education sector, that's where we come in. Therefore, your participation within the group will help you move your issues forward. You know, when we're in secondary school, when we start to talk during debate, we say, I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you. And not confuse you. That being a member of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry is very important for you and will add a lot of value to your business. So, just as Prof now has become a member, please queue behind Prof and become a member of the chamber. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. We'd like to take a few photographs. Prof had wanted to run away, but before he runs away, I would want to tell him that I'm coming to give my daughter to him as my daughter enters the university this September. Yes, Prof. Yes. I'll come and hand over. Yes. So, Mr. President, the photographs. Please, let's have the plaques. No plaques. I wanted us to have the plaques, and then come up with the.
Sorry, can we go up there?
No, let's do this because. Okay, please step. Let's have it straight so that Koni cough. Bank. Yeah, something like that. Francis. Sir, can you are obstructing the. No, it's taking time. We need to do it once, sir. Let's come to the so that we can take it at once. Yes. That way. Francis, are we good? Are you good? Thank you so much. Please, let's get back to our seat. Then let's have the... First is Dr. Fowowe Simeon Sunday. Yes. Chair. Madam Chair, you want to join the president in doing this? Come to this side, sir. This way. So you stay here. You stay here, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Next, Mrs. Bolaji Osime. Thank you. Thank you, man. Are you do? Are you? Next, Mrs. Olufunke Amba Fowler. Mrs. Olufunke? Yes. Are you good, Francis? Thank you so much. Next is Prof. Oladekun, who represented Oladega Adebogun. The newest ICCI member, yes. Are you good? Next, Dr. Timilade Adegbite, Doc. Yes. Our sponsor, EdTech Interactive Board. Representative. Okay, not around. Next. Give me the next one. Septem Limited. Septem Limited. Not around, two. Next. Yes, until they come. Let's so that we don't waste. Are we done? Okay, those are just the two. Which one is here now? Okay, please come.
Our newest member as well.
Septem V, is he around? Please, can we have the next one? That's all. Thank you so much, Madam President. Septem. Prince. Are we good? Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, for a closing remark today, and vote of thanks. He did a swap of office, or a swap of role. Please make welcome Mr. Koyejo Oluwatosin. Let's put our hands together for him, please.
Thank you very much. It's going to be just 2 minutes.
I want to thank all our guest speakers today. I want to thank LCCI for making this a very, very wonderful program. This program would have been very successful without the attendance of participants. Please take all these things, let's work on it, and let's make education in Lagos a better place. Have a safe trip home, and God bless you all. Bye.
Thank you, sir. All right, thank you so much. With that, we have officially come to a close. But please, let's be upstanding for the last item for today, which is our national anthem for a close. Please, let's be upstanding for a national anthem as we close. National anthem, please. Thank you so much. As you take your refreshment, please be mindful of your iPhone, iPad, everything that is personal to you. Thank you so much.